All right. And we are live. The last word with Lord Cognito and Ebontis. Fresh on that Friday morning campfire. What's going on? You look like I got a nice little special guest lined up today, man. What's going on?
Yeah, we had some crazy stuff going on in the week. Obviously, the internet was in a bit of a frenzy, waiting on pins and needles for what we expected on Tuesday morning, and it dropped. So before we talk about all that good stuff, because we do have a lot to discuss as lots of things are coming around the corner, let's get this episode started the only way we know how. Welcome to the last word, number 135. Once again, we have been chosen. Content creators are working in a frenzy, and even Aeon Exotics might be good. The next chapter of Destiny 2 is just around the corner, and we are joined by a great guest to discuss the events of the week. This man started gaming with one of the goofier looking consoles, but it was an icon, the N64. That console helped change the game and turn this man into a gamer. He has enjoyed a mix of games throughout the years. Shooters, of course, are a tried and true part of his gaming history, but sports games are right there as well, with a special love for FIFA, and of course a good mix of single-player adventure thrown in as well. Of course, gaming is what can bring us together, but this man has a much bigger seal of approval on his content creation bag than most of us gamers. A true filmmaker for music videos, wedding montages, and commercials, so you know, you may never know where you're going to see one of his videos next. So without further ado, let's welcome a member of Team Ahamkara. I always butcher this one. Masankoa? I don't know how I'll have to ask. Co-host of his own podcast, Destiny Nerds, partner with Gamer Sups and Artesian Builds, creation studio owner, Pokemon card addict, owner of an epic beard and even more epic dance moves, the one, the only, Bearded Luke. How you doing, sir?
What's up? Thanks. I'm great. That was a super... I was like, I wonder why I had to write some stuff down. I get it now. You just gave me the best intro anyone's ever given me in my life. Appreciate that.
That's what we... If you clip anything from this show, take it with you
just
and go.
That. I'm just taking that first part, making that my channel trailer on Twitch.
It's like, who is Bearded Luke? He said it. I'm just going to take his...
This guy said it. It was perfect. I appreciate it. I'm doing great, though. I'm excited to be on here. I don't get to be on podcasts super often, so I'm super excited to chat about Destiny. And it always ends up being Destiny. I tell all my friends and my family it's so cool. They're like, I don't get it. Why do you stream on Twitch? I'm like, I like gaming in this game so much that we talk about it on the internet for hours with each other.
That's true.
And people watch and listen to it. So I'm excited about it. So I appreciate it.
I've had my parents ask me, like, what's the link to the podcast? I'm like, you would be so bored.
Yeah.
Like, it is not for you. It's like, I'd be like, oh, let me talk about this game and everything. Mm-hmm. You would hear my voice. The words would sound like another language, I swear.
Yeah. But there's passion there.
There is passion.
Important.
Passion, brother. Yeah, man, let's get right into it. I mean, tremendous history. Checking out a lot of stuff you put down. And before we get into the film, I want to focus on the gaming side with you, because it's so cool. Like, you kind of had a different path, you know what I'm saying, as far as like jumping into Destiny and stuff like that. So what are some of those early influences? I know we talked N64, but give us some more, early influences that really got you into gaming.
Yeah, so I still remember in preschool, I went to this place called La Petite for preschool, which sounds fancy.
I think I've seen one of those.
Yeah, they're not super fancy. They sound like it, but there was a Super Nintendo there, and people played Mario on it.
Nice.
And I never played. I just watched. I was like, that looks fun, but because I was like a little kid. But I remember seeing it. And then a lot of my gaming experiences before I even got an N64 was me watching people play games. Like, I would always just be in the living room watching, like never actually being allowed to play.
My little cousin did
the OG Twitch viewers, couch Twitch viewers,
the original, the original OG followers.
I was lurking in the and then I basically it was N64 and then the PlayStation 2. My friend, I remember me buying an N64 first, and I just wasn't good at it. I was too young. I was like super young when I got it, so I was playing Donkey Kong. I couldn't even get past like the first level. Like, I never beat it. I couldn't figure it out. I just had one because everyone else was talking about it because it was the hype. And then when I started getting a real gaming, it was the PlayStation 2 came out, and I was playing like there was this what are they called? ATV game, like 4-wheeler game that I was playing with my friends, where you would if you drove it as far as you possibly could, like till the map ended, would like fling you, like it would like literally fling you as high in the sky, and like it was nutty, and I always thought it was the funniest thing. So that's like I don't know why I only remember that from my early gaming.
Oh no, like
left an impression.
Yeah, from like arcades, whatever. I think it's off-road. Whatever had the 4 steering wheels, and it was like the 4 little rally trucks that would go around. It was kind of isometric view. That one always still sticks out as a random game that I was like, I always had fun with that one because you like kind of be drifted around this like dirt in the corners and stuff. There's certain random things that are like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's there was that, and then there was Kingdom Hearts. I remember playing and not having any idea what was going on. Again, that was a really good, and this is a really good example of me now and then. So I'm known with my community and my friends for I'm efficient when I game and I know what I'm doing, but I typically am pretty lost when it comes to a lot of things. I'm like, what's going on? What am I doing? It takes me a little bit longer to connect. But so like Kingdom Hearts was very confusing when I was a kid too. But it wasn't until like I got past like all those. I did a lot of single player stuff. I didn't even know I didn't even know these things could connect, like consoles could connect to internet until Call of Duty Modern Warfare. That was the first time I ever knew that you could even play
Welcome
online.
to the real world.
There was all this time. I didn't even know I had an HDTV and I had a Xbox 360. I didn't even know that you plugged HDMI into the TV and it would look better. I was using the component cables for like years.
Oh man. RGB there.
Before I knew anything about tech. And then I remember the day I plugged an HDMI in, I was like, oh my God.
Your whole world transformed. When you saw 720p for the first time, like, oh my God, what is this?
Yeah. So
I remember those days, man. Yeah.
Yeah. The first tech upgrades were like, your first HD TV, and you're like, oh, sweet.
Brother, I remember it, man. Like, you talk about language because it's like composite video. I remember S video.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, S video.
Bro, like we were like blown away by these like little steps, these incremental steps in clarity and video quality. But yeah, like what he said, I remember in the, PS2, the 360 era and all that, like when you finally seen, HDMI and you finally, you start to get that full, when you go from the 480i and then you go up to 720, you're like, oh, this is clarity. This is different. Yeah, this was different for sure.
Well,
continue.
I was just going to say that's one thing. Even chat said it too, is like, and you cut your teeth. You saw Super Nintendo and then N64, that's 16-bit to 64-bit. And then, of course, now we're in a whole different level of insanity. But like, it's so weird to think about 8-bit, 16, 64. Like, the leap in progressions used to be like, holy crap, every time. And now we're like, well, now we're going down to these pixels got a little bit smaller and the ray tracing's a little more. And you're like, everything's a little more nuanced now. And like when you were growing up, like every console was like a holy crap jaw on the floor moment. It's just like we're not going to get those until you like step into VR and it's just like, oh, I'm in real life. That'll be the one.
I can smell the things that are in here.
5D. You're like, every sense is going. Why are my feet tingling? What's happening? I'm being touched. I'm being touched. Don't take that out of context, everybody. Please don't clip that.
Well, let me clip that. All right, it's
Montes being touched in VR. That's the title of the podcast.
And I just got demonetized and canceled.
I do remember one thing. So since you guys all remember this, obviously, when the game's not working, you pull it out and you blow on it and you go.
Oh, 100%.
So my wife the other day, I'm going to make a TikTok out of it. She was like trying to get something to work on her phone and she pulls her phone up and she goes, and then she takes the cable and she goes, I'm like, that's not going to do anything. So it's like, you're a 90s kid when.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. That was the era.
I was like, I'm an 80s kid, so I don't know how.
I was born in 92. I'm a baby.
Youngin.
I'm an 80s. He's got me by a few more than that, so I know he's 78. So
yeah, this is definitely. I was the disco era. They was doing disco back when I was.
Oh, that's awesome.
Came out dancing.
He was doing this and this when I came out. Bell bottoms, afro. It was late though. It was party. They had fun in my era, man.
Hard to argue. Lots of fun. Lots of other things too.
Yes. Other things were happening.
Just gonna leave it at the other things.
We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. So what else you got for the Luke?
But yeah, it's like honestly, like your journey's been kind of cool to get to what you do, but I was like, I know gaming's definitely a thing, and you definitely got hooked on Call of Duty as a shooter. Destiny sunk his teeth in, and yet somehow, because you are one of the few, I've got to say, everybody, there's so many people ask like, hey, what's the question? What's your gaming history? There's one game that's always in there since a lot of people play Destiny. You haven't touched this one game. Haven't touched it. And it's Halo.
Yeah.
That was surprising.
And I don't know if that's one of those. At this point, has it been so long? Are you like afraid to get into it because you're like, it's been too much? Or just, I mean, you're busy enough as it is, but I'm just kind of curious. Is it one of those like on your backlog, you're like, I kind of eventually want to, or you're good without it? I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah. It's more of, I want to play it now. I never played, so I think it's not like I never touched it. I tried it with my friends, multiplayer, when I was younger, and I just wasn't interested. And I'm just gonna tell you, it was because whenever I pressed the left trigger, it wouldn't zoom in. I was like, I'm good. I don't want to play this.
Oh, there no ADS. He's looking for ADS.
Gotta have those scopes.
Damn, like, 90s kid. That Modern
So-
Warfare ruined you.
Yeah, and Modern Warfare was just, I don't know, I always have really liked realistic. Obviously, for whatever reason, I really liked the realistic shooting games for whatever reason. I don't know why. And like you could jump real high and it was all futuristic. I don't know. I just never got into it. I wish that I did, now that I love Destiny so much. Because whenever we talk about it, I didn't like Destiny at first either. So it's kind of like in that route. But I've been talking with a couple of my friends. I really want to play all of them. Like I'd love to do like a full thing where I go from the first one all the way to the last one. I'd love
collection,
to play,
brother.
Yeah, I'd love to play the campaigns, and I've heard so many good things about them. My attention span just isn't as good as it used to be with games. Like I used to be able to play anything for as long. Now I can play for about 20 minutes. I'm like, I think I'm gonna go play Destiny again. I don't know if that's because I'm addicted to Destiny.
That just more sounds like a drug addict.
Yeah, I get crap for it all the time. We'll be like playing God of War or something so good with my buddies or streaming it. Like, I'm like, this is fun. I want to finish this, but I really want to go do a GM. I don't know why, but
that's the Destiny hooks, man.
Yeah.
That's the
Go
hooks.
turn God of War on God of War mode. That's a GM for you. Holy hell.
oh gosh,
Yeah,
I can imagine. But
yeah,
haven't played it, but I want to eventually. It's not because I hate it. I just, I think I just missed it. I think I just missed the like wave whenever,
I did that.
It came out.
I have a couple big sacrilege. Mine's Mass Effect, but I actually get a chance for it to come back in 4K. So that's
There
my
you
big
go.
one that everybody around me has always said, like, literally probably top 5 series or stories that they played in games for Mass Effect. And I'm like, and I missed the whole train. And then I
I've
waited
never played it either.
Well,
So-
remastered coming back. So apparently,
both of you, May 14th, okay? Both of you.
May 14th.
Get that corrected.
Okay. Put it in my calendar.
Yes, please. That is, oh my God. That is like in the pantheon of greatness.
what we're going to get a new season May 11th.
That's the problem right there. That's
Exactly.
what happens to me every time.
That's always the problem.
It's
So
always the problem.
we'll have to
Always the
see.
problem.
I'm
Mhm.
hoping like May and June right now don't have a ton of stuff. I mean, there's plenty of things that don't have a release date, but I'm hoping that like May, June, July, like that summer section isn't too stacked with anything big, because stuff like that feels like it would fit there, because the summer season's probably going to be smaller for Destiny. Vault of Glass will be the big thing. I think it'll be kind of the in-between before like the Witch Queen lead up and stuff. And I'm hoping I at least got to play the first one. One and two, like one and two are like, I've seen people debate. Two's pretty, like people tend to lean two, but 1 and 2 are generally both thought of pretty well. But yeah, it's like 3 would be the one. Like I've heard people like, like not
3
always
is amazing. 3 is amazing. The problem is they were doing something so unique and carrying over your progress, choices, permadeath. There's so many things. What happened was 3 was amazing. It just when it got to the end,
the last like couple hours.
They didn't put the cherry on the Sunday all the way. And for people who spent so much time with these characters, they felt a little betrayed. Like how, so it was so bad. The outcry was so bad. They actually had to make a DLC which added more content to the ending of the game. It was like a 15 gig patch to an extended ending to kind of satiate. It was an uproar about that because Mass Effect 3 was awesome, but it was the ending and the choices involved at the end and how I guess people felt it was short and not enough meat to it to end the trilogy the right way. Oh yeah, it was something, man. But yeah, you guys gotta touch those games, man. Classics, bro. Classics for sure.
Heck yeah.
What about you, Cog?
Yeah, man. That's what I wanted to finish talking with him as far as that. And then, obviously being a filmmaker, you know what I'm saying? And I thought that was like really unique because, obviously you have your own career and what you're doing. And then to sit there and say, okay, I also want to transition into content creation. So let's start with that. Like, what was the flip of the switch, so to speak? So you're like, okay, I want to now also do this in terms of, Destiny and gaming.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago actually that happened. I went to college for this is funny. I always tell this story and don't judge me for this, okay? So I went to college for journal. I didn't do video my whole life. I filmed stuff on my little camera when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. But in college, I went to school for journalism, and there was a class that I had where there was this professor that made us take these little mini quizzes before class. Like it was an 8 a.m. class, and he would make us read the newspaper from the local town, like this little tiny town. And he would ask questions about articles in that newspaper. It's 8 a.m. Like I'm not reading the newspaper every morning. Like, are you kidding me?
Nah, fam.
I'm barely here. I'm barely here.
Where am I supposed to get the newspaper from? You know what I mean? Where do you even get that from?
Where did they do that at?
Exactly. So
is it a newsstand? Does it show up on my door? How do I do this? I gotta be out there waving at 6 a.m. on the porch.
Exactly.
I love the 90s babies kicking in. I love it. Keep talking. I love it.
He does this quiz, and most of the time I sometimes would read. I wouldn't read them, but I would look at the titles of the articles. Well, a couple of the times I didn't, and no one did in the class. So there would always be one kid that did. So we all cheated off each other, like yo, what is it? Like we're looking at each other, like what is it? And one day I came into class, and the dude had 3 of my quizzes and 3 of this other kid's quizzes, and he's like, these look exactly the same because the wrong answers are gonna be, you're cheating if the wrong answers.
If the wrong answer is the same wrong answer,
because it's a made up wrong answer from a story that you don't know about.
No, yeah.
He's like, you have 2 options. You can either get kicked out of school right now, or you can
option B.
You can leave
whatever option B is.
Yeah, or you can leave the journalism department. You're gonna not only get a C in this class, but you have to do double news articles. So I had to write 90 news articles that semester. I also had to write a letter to the editor about why I was a cheater, and they posted it in the newspaper.
They named and shamed you.
Yeah,
they made a public example of.
Yes.
Damn.
Holy crap!
I swear. So the reason I say that is because I was kicked out of the program, so I had to pick up another class during that semester, and there was only one class, and it was called Video Practicum, and I was like, I guess I'll do that, and they gave me a camera, and it was just like, oh, this is meant to be. So then I just kept doing video. Like I'm not going to explain that whole story, but basically it was my gift. I'm pretty okay at it. So I just kept doing it. Started a business called ALC Productions in college because I was like, I can't, I don't think I'm going to be able to afford. I'm a communication major. You don't make a lot of money when you get out of school. So I'm like, I have all this. I had like $95,000 of student loan debt I found out about when I was a senior. I was like,
I feel you, brother.
I was like, oh. So we started this business, and we started filming weddings then, and then that's kind of just morphed into what I do now, which is pretty awesome. So
cool. What
happened? So I do video, and that's how it started. Now we'll go all the way to 2019 in the summertime, which is funny because I saw both of you there before I knew who you were.
Stop.
At Guardian Con.
You did? Oh wow.
Yes. Crazy. So I was at Guardian Con. That's how I think Abontis followed me or something on Twitter. I followed him on Twitter, and I saw you guys walking. I'm like, that guy looks familiar, but I didn't talk to anyone. Like, listen, I went to Guardian Con for the first time ever. I started in 2019, the beginning of 2019. I started watching, 2018, one of those years. I started watching Twitch, and I was literally only following King Ithalian. I thought his stuff was cool. I watched a lot of YouTube videos like More Console and Unknown Player. I watched those kinds of guys on YouTube. Yeah. And then I was like, always like, oh, that's cool. And I did YouTube stuff, not in the gaming realm. It was always like filmmaking, like how to do tutorials, which I actually don't like making. So like I was never able to stick with it because I was like, it's tough whenever you film stuff to want to teach people how to do it. Some people are really good at it. I just want to make stuff and then show people what I made. But anyways, sorry, I'm going on and on here.
No.
Basically, this is your time. That's why we're here. We love it. Yeah.
Okay, so we get to Guardian Con. I'm watching on Twitter. I'm following some gaming stuff. I always gamed growing up, and it was fun and it was cool. And I didn't really follow gaming content until Destiny. So I'm playing Destiny. I'm following along with that journey with a couple people online. I watched King Ithalian because I found him because of it was literally because I was trying to watch one of the Bungie live events on Twitch, and I saw his name at like the top of the list. I was like, who's this guy? So I watched it, and then I was like, oh, this is interesting. I didn't know people did this. And this wasn't that long ago. Like, this was just a few years ago. Wow. And I kind of just watched that he had whenever it was Destiny Con before, like I was watching it online happening, and then
see the I was like, we all tuned in for the details. And
then I finally got to the point where I was like, okay, Guardian Con's happening. I don't have a wedding that weekend. I can book it because I want to go and see what this is all about. These people seem to be really cool. So I showed up, and it was nuts because I just saw all these communities of people that were just there, like that knew each other and loved each other, and like we're wearing T-shirts with their Twitch names on it and all this sweet stuff. Yeah, this guy. Sir. And I saw both of you there.
That's so crazy.
Which is crazy because I didn't know you at all. I saw a lot of people that I know now there that I didn't know then. And I'm sitting there and I'm at this, and it was a good time. I was a little bit more shy because I just didn't know. I'm like extroverted in some ways and introverted in a lot of ways. It's kind of like a weird mix. And there's just a lot of really nice people that I met there. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, this is it. I got to do this. Cause I always kind of tinkered with the idea, like if I just bought like this one thing that connected cause I was always like, I wasn't the kind of guy that's like, I'm just going to turn the stream on and start. I'm like, I got to make it look good if I'm going to
right. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
So I'm like, I'm at Guardian Con and I'm on Amazon during one of the events. I'm buying a Cam Link 4K, a capture card, like all this stuff.
He's going hard. He's ready.
Yeah, exactly. And I got back from Guardian Con and I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a streamer. I want to also, this is a little bit different too, because I was like there the whole time. And I was like, when I come next time, I want to be able to have friends that I know from the internet. Oh. And I also told myself, I'm going to be filming this next year because I felt like I wanted to be a part of it. Yes. Because every time I'm at an event that I'm not filming, I feel a little uncomfortable because I like to have a camera in my hand. It's just comfortable to me.
Used to it. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to message Kevin and say, listen, I'm going to message him and see if I can get information about how to get on a team. So I message him in all caps. I put, I'm filming Guardian Con, or I'm filming GCX 2020. And I sent him this long thing with all my information, and he sent me an email immediately and tagged the content, like their video guy that does all their stuff at Guardian Con, and said he'll hit you up if he needs anything. I'm like, I'm not waiting for that. So I messaged him, and then it's the same kind of thing. And he texted me, and he's like, hey, dude, I'd love to talk tomorrow. So then we got on the phone and we talked, and we had like a really good conversation. He was like, we want to I was like, I will do it for free, and I just want to be on your team. He ended up hiring my company to come and shoot it for this year's, but then this year's got canceled. So somehow it worked. Whenever I was like, I'm going to do this, like if you're a little bit bold, I guess it works sometimes. But
gotta shoot your shot, right?
The problem is I've had so much fun on Twitch this past year that now I think it'll be fun to film, but I really just want to hang out with all you guys.
You're like, I don't want to go into work. I just want to chill.
Bro, the Hangout's a legendary classic, man. A lot of fun. It's just such a cool environment. You know, all these content creators, we all love this game, and just to see everybody in one space having a great time. And then on top of that, Bungie actually going out there to the events themselves, and you're shoulder to shoulder with the people who make the game you love. Like, dude, tremendous story. It's interesting to hear you say, like, yo, you saw us, you knew who we were. Like, that's mind-boggling to me. Because I remember my first time too, and I was just like, wow, it was sensory overload, but I was happy. I was just like, yo, this is so cool. I can't believe there's so much people here and a community here that loves this thing as much as I love it. Like, tremendous, man. I hear you, bro.
Yeah, it was awesome. I had a great time, and that led me into doing this, which is right now. It started off as just streaming on Twitch. Now I'm starting to push this. Just this year, I started pushing into the YouTube game, which is like I've tried several times, like with my own personal channel. I've done like It's funny. My most popular videos I've ever made are like the lamest videos I've ever made. It's like a video about my car when it came out because I like to we like to travel, so we got a rooftop tent, and so like when we travel we can put the tent on there. I did a video that wasn't even edited. It was literally just me undoing the top of the thing to show it open, and it has like 25,000 views or whatever on my personal channel. And then like our wedding channel, like we've been really successful in I live in Columbus, Ohio. So I'll dox myself. I don't care. But I live in,
if they find you in a city, then good luck.
Yeah. I mean, my business is my address used to be my business. So it was super easy to find out where I live, to be honest, but I don't live there anymore. So good luck finding me. But we're pretty well known in Columbus for our wedding videos just because we've been around so long, and I think our stuff's pretty good. So we do that, and I don't remember where I was going with this. I'm just sitting here talking. Basically, we have a YouTube channel there, and that has a lot of it's a popular channel just because I like clickbait the crap out of stuff like emotional wedding crying, like that kind of stuff. And get like 100,000 views. Sizzling titles. Best first looks, 50,000 views, like that kind of thing. So I kind of love the idea of what YouTube is, but now I'm kind of pushing my like this last year was just I'm gonna try Twitch. I'm gonna do it when my wife goes to bed. I'll stream late at night. That's why I stream so late. Yeah. And then now I'm trying to see what else can I add to it. So that's why we started a podcast on Sundays, which is super fun because I just love talking to different content creators. And then now I've been opening Pokemon cards on video and posting on YouTube.
Okay, so you've got that has been a few months now. I feel like the Pokemon cards. Why is there such a resurgence in that? Just give me a quick 60-second reasoning, because I mean I grew up with Pokemon Red and Blue, and I feel like there may have even been cards, but why is there like a
why is it big? I'll tell you why.
For the people who don't know, including me.
Yeah, but I'm saying I gotta ask the same question.
It's super simple and it's super lame at the same time. Logan Paul, he's the reason it happened. I don't know if you guys know.
Yes.
He's very
No, I've never heard that name ever as you two.
Yeah. You don't probably want to, but he made a video where he bought a first edition a base set booster box, and then the video had 10 million views. It basically just showed that he got back into Pokemon and he was opening all these old cards, and then he was showing content creators to do it. I saw the video and I was like, I didn't know that Pokemon was still around, because I had so many cards when they came out. That was a kid, so all base set. I made it all the way through Neo Genesis or whatever the cards were at the time, and but then I just stopped because I was growing up, and now he made this video, and then he did a live stream where people bought each booster pack for $11,000, and he live streamed opening each pack.
Wow.
And there was 300,000 concurrent viewers. They raised $500,000 for charity.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it just popped off. I think a lot of people that really liked Pokemon at the time saw it, and then they realized there's a whole entire community of content creators that make videos opening cards. And then you could also see the stuff's more valuable than it used to be. It's the whole card game. And it's funny because at the same time I just started making videos about it, and then my in town the town I live in, there's a card shop I went to go buy some cards at, and the dude is huge online. I looked online at this shop because I wanted to go find it. Dude has 50,000 followers on Instagram and massive interactions. And it's not like Pokemon, it's sports cards. So he puts a thing on his story and says, I'm looking for a guy. I need a video guy. I got a big project I'm working on. So I'm like, hey, dude, it's me. Cards. Yeah, I love cards. I messaged him real quick.
Cards, video cards. Yes, me. I'm
and
in.
He's he doesn't message me back. But then I find out his wife, I went to school and lived on the same street as his wife, and she told him about me. So he reached out to me. So now I'm filming a mini doc series about this dude who he bought a new building and he's moving his card shop there. So it's just funny, because I'm now seeing the inner workings of sports card industry. There's so much money in it. It's insane. I think that's probably a big caveat to why people are doing this, because there's money involved. I'm doing it just because I think Pokemon cards are sweet, and it makes me feel young. It makes me feel like a kid, and I like doing a lot of stuff that makes me feel like a kid as an adult. So I guess that was longer than 60 seconds, but I hate to say it, it's Logan Paul, and Logan Paul just came out with the video on Wednesday. He bought 6 first edition booster boxes for $2 million. and he's auctioning packs off one by one, and he's going to do a big giant live stream on February 20 something. And that is going to be like another resurgence. And it's just a bunch of eyes that didn't see Pokemon are seeing it now. I think that's why.
Fair enough.
It's probably a fad, but it'll probably go away eventually.
Probably. Well, it seems to have lasted longer than GameStop stock, so that's fine.
That's true. Yeah.
That was pretty quick.
That definitely. Yeah, man. What I was gonna ask you too is that obviously you said getting into Modern Warfare, that was your baby. Then you switch over, then this Destiny thing grabs you. But what I thought was interesting was like the fact that it was King's Fall.
Oh yeah.
And I like
it's
that.
A good choice.
Relax yourself, Papa. I know you love this part, so I gotta ask him these questions. But like, you have a unique, start, and I want you to break down how like influential. Why was King's Fall it for you? What was the hook? What was the first couple of things?
It's the name.
Yeah.
Already says. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll explain how I started, because me starting with Destiny will make this part make more sense.
Okay.
I played the alpha because someone told me to, and I didn't like it. I played the beta because someone told me to, and I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I was like, this is too much like Halo, and that game's dumb. Like,
He's like, I don't like that Halo. They don't ADS.
Hey, everybody listening, this is not. We do not condone Bearded Luke's views right now. So please do.
let him talk. This is him.
And don't hate on me for that, because
I respect it.
I respect it,
because most people's history is always Halo.
That's why
to Destiny,
joked,
and this is a unique story. Continue.
Yeah. So then, the night that that Destiny's launching, I just wanted to go to Taco Bell, which was next to GameStop. So I went to Taco Bell. I bought 10.
I was like, what's the order? We got to know the order.
I wasn't pre-ordering it. My friend was pre-ordering it. He's like, I'm going in town to get Destiny. I'm like, I want Taco Bell. So I went with him.
How much? What was the Taco Bell order? Or what's your usual Taco Bell order?
You're gonna judge me so hard for this. I ordered 10 fiery Doritos Locos tacos at the time. I ate all 10 of them.
Oh my God.
I was in college. 10. And I'm not a very big dude.
You paid for that the next day.
Yeah. So then we go to GameStop, and I'm like, I guess I'll get it. So I also got it. And we went back to the dorm, or we had a townhouse, and played. I got to level 20, and then I was like, well, that's it. Okay, cool. So then I traded it in for Shadow of Mordor.
Yo, this is hilarious. Continue. This is awesome.
I don't need this game. I'm going to go play
Destiny,
Lord of the Rings.
Alpha, this beta. Done with this. Taco Bell. This is so much slander. I love it. Continue.
And then I traded it, and then my buddy who got me into it, he kept playing. I remember when he was doing Vault of Glass the first day, he called me. He's like, dude, I've been doing this raid for 6 hours. I'm like, 6 hours? I'd never even played a game for 6 hours long. What are you doing? But I didn't get it yet. I knew I was going to get it eventually. And then I got married. I graduated college, and it was like a really fast pace, because this game came out like when I was a senior in college, and then I graduated early, and then I got married and moved into an apartment. And I was playing FIFA, and I was in a party chat on PS4 with my dudes that played Destiny, and I just kept hearing them going like, "Oh my gosh, this game's crazy! Oh my god!" I'm like, man, I feel like I'm missing out on something. Like, that game was not fun. And then I just didn't get it yet, because I didn't understand what this was. So then there was like, you could download Destiny for free, like a trial where you just had Earth, the Cosmic Ground. So I did that, and there was like those key things. It was during House of Wolves. There was those key run things where you would get like if you like got on your Sparrow and went really fast, you could go get some loot. And I got my first ever legendary. It was a legendary cloak, and I was like, ooh. Loot. What is this? Because I didn't give it enough time to get anything good, like even anything purple when I played it the first time. I just got to level. I was just like your typical boring gamer who played
base story, just blues, and then you were
done. The story, and I was like, well, that's it, I guess, because I didn't understand looter shooter. I never played that kind of thing.
Me and you share that. Continue.
I just usually played the campaign, and then I was like, that's it, I guess.
Yeah, because you treat it like it's a normal single player campaign experience, and it's over. Right. And I remember being disgusted as well. I was like, what's the hype with this? I don't get it. Continue.
Yeah, and so I hear that I like get that loot, and I'm like, I heard my friend, his name's a Dr. Shabby. He plays with me all the time still. He was like, ooh, I think Bungie gotcha. Like I remember him saying, and I was like, the next day I'm at this. I also work at a church, so I was leading a small group at the time for like students, and I'm like, does anyone here have Destiny? And they're like, this kid's like, my friend has it, and he'll sell it to you for $10. So I gave him $10. He runs down the street and gets Destiny 1.
You hocked it off the church.
Oh my God!
You went to your church group and said, "Yo, hold on, who got that game that I got rid of?"
Church group used game sales. $10.
Shout out for the $10 hustle. Shout out for the $10 hustle.
$40 off of GameStop's price.
I respect that. I respect that. So now you get it back.
I got it back, and I'm playing it. And I remember the first thing I was like, you know how there was like levels, like if you got to like level 3 in your Vanguard, you could buy the legendary armor. Yes. And all I was like, I want the legendary armor. I need to buy it. So I remember I thought I was grinding so hard. I'm like, I'm gonna get to level 2. I'm gonna get to level 2 in my Vanguard.
Level 2 is gonna be
it's gonna be nutty. So I get to level 2, and I'm like, ooh, that's not it. So then I bought House of Wolves and The Dark Below. Yep. And the next thing that came out was King's Fall. So I got I remember my wife went on a mission trip, and I played Destiny in the apartment by myself for like 5 days straight. Like I was just like all night playing Destiny, like getting loot, getting
like
leveled
the
up.
South Park World of Warcraft episode. You haven't showered in 4 days. Be like, oh, wife's gonna be home tomorrow. I gotta clean up.
Basically, it was gross. I was gross that week, and I got into it. I watched a bunch of videos, like a ton of videos, and I just understood the game. And then they started announcing all the stuff for King's Fall, and then it like the way it launched at like 4 a.m. And I had a regular 9-to-5 job. I wasn't like doing what I do now. I work for myself now. At first I was working for this like weird studio place. It's not important, but I had to wake up and go to work. So me and my friend Doc and my friend Shane, we woke up and we played King's Fall like right in the morning. Like I've never woken up.
As soon as it was ready, as soon as the release window was like, you could download it. I mean, you could play. Let's go.
And we had like, I remember like saving up. There was even like this there. I don't remember if you guys remember, but there was like these codes that you could put in, and you would have like extra XP in the Postmaster for King's Fall. Absolutely. We all went into the tower, and we were level 40 or whatever. Like it was like ding, we all, because they changed it to light level with King's Fall. And I don't know, dude. Whenever I played it, it was just the campaign, the music, the locations, the dark feeling that it brought. I was like, and it was my first time really getting to play a new thing in Destiny, other than whenever I didn't like it at the beginning. I was fully in, and it happened to be a time whenever there was just such good strikes, and it felt like the universe was changing. You know what I mean? Where like it was everywhere. The Taken were popping up on all the different planets. War,
they would appear on the map and all that.
It was just, there was just so much, and that's what like pulled me in. And then that was my first ever raid that I did. Like I did the other raids, but it was just more like, all right, just stand there and do this. This was the first time where I got to like figure out what it was. And
mechanics.
Raiding was when I did VOG. That was like the first time that was part of the reasons I stuck to Destiny was there's probably other things like that. I'm just a little bit, I don't know about other games as much when it comes to like co-op, but like having 6 players that all have to communicate with each other to do something, no matter what.
Not for the people in the back. Keep going.
I'm like, this is insane. Like this is not like anything else. I'm gonna commit my time to this now.
Let's go.
And then I started seeing how investment works in it. Like it shows for it in some ways or another. I mean, not as much nowadays, but like
we'll talk about that, but that's fine.
the investment in this game just, oh man, it blew my mind. And especially with King's Fall just being the way it was, the loot was good. I don't know. There's just so much that like, it was like a perfect storm for me personally. That's probably why I like King's Fall even more than I probably could have, but holy cow. And just Oryx was like such a hardcore boss, just his voice and just so much. So yeah, that's my long-winded version of why I like King's Fall.
It's amazing, brother. It's amazing. It's so unique to hear that story because again, what's even more unique is how many times you rebuked Destiny.
Yeah, you're like,
you rejected Destiny
throw it away,
bad
sell it back.
times. Like for you to come back, to me, it just shows it's something about that game because I hear similar story, not to your extent, but even myself, you know what I'm saying, which was like, yo, I don't get it. I'm playing it like a regular game, kind of thing. But it's so funny, E, when the hooks get in.
Oh yeah,
and you see that person transform. Yeah. And I've seen it in people about Clan now, and it's like, I remember people used to clown Destiny, and then you get them in and you get that whatever that content is that hooks, or like you said, in your case with the legendary, I've seen it when a person finally breaks through and gets that first exotic, and it's like, that's their baby, because that was their first one, you know what I'm saying? Whatever that exotic weapon, and whatever cloak, it's just so cool to see. But yeah, with King's Fall, I can totally understand where you're coming from, because it was ominous. The story led right into the raid. The cinema with Morrisov, and he just still blew her up, but whatever. Oryx was bad. He's a bad boy, man. And then obviously the encounter himself and him being how larger than life he was, and that was a boss fight. To this day, he still, as much as I'm a Vol guy, I will always, I think, give it to Oryx King's Fall as probably like a raids raid with the bosses, the length, the time of it, and then with the culmination into one of the greatest boss characters that you could fight. I have to give it to King's Fall in that. So yeah, salute, man. Tremendous. This is tremendous history. I love hearing this stuff.
Yeah, and the story too. Like when you say that, and it reminds me of why I like it the most. Like the whole entire story getting to that raid is what makes that raid also special. Like it's not just like most raids nowadays. You just, who the heck am I fighting right now?
Why am I fighting him? Yep.
Yeah, we know why we're fighting Oryx, and we know why we're in an ascendant, like why we were in his ascendant realm, and this and that, and all that. It just, story is super important to me in these games, because obviously I grew up playing story player games. So like, once you like really dig deep into the lore of this game, you realize this is a deep universe that's like really cool. So whenever I got into this part, like even just figuring out how to get, when Cade's helping you got to go get Cade's stash and figure out how to get into the Dreadnought, like that kind of stuff is just, it's simple, but it's unique, and I don't know, I just love it. I love Destiny so much.
You're talking to two people that have been playing it for way too long. Started a podcast during Curse of Osiris. Best time, by the way, for that
Best
one.
Best time ever to start a podcast. Absolute worst time. So, people quit the game. Let's start a podcast on Destiny.
We have been through, we've obviously seen a little bit more of it than you, because you decided at first to be like, nah, I'm going to sell this thing back to GameStop for my $5. I don't need this.
I love that Taco Bell was the influence.
Oh yeah, and it's 10 fire tacos that that next day he's just sitting there like, oh, that's the associate. He bought Destiny, and then the next day just paid for everything all in one day. It's all bad, but no, man, that's as unique of a history as I think we've had on the podcast for somebody to finally go through and eventually end up being hooked, because so many come through Halo. And Bungie's just like, it's the next progression.
Natural progression.
And then like, they kind of get into an RPG. Most people haven't like played sports or Call of Duty and then be like, let me try this Destiny thing. I don't like Halo at all. And then somehow like throw it. And you can't write that. Somebody in chat was like, oh, it's a movie. I was like, trademark last word 2021. Oh, yeah. We got to write that movie. Yeah. You film it, we'll shoot it. No, I'm just kidding.
Somebody said it was like F. Kyle. He's like, this movie has everything: passion, hate, betrayal, bribing, romance.
It literally has it all. So, no, man, that's a pretty epic history. So, but it's really cool to see somebody like you as well, who's, most people will be like, it's funny, like your ways to get into streaming. Some people are like, oh, I turned my PlayStation camera to the on and I just like hit live on Twitch and here we go. What's up, guys? And then you're like, okay, so what I'm going to do is take my filmmaking gear. I'm going to set this nice DSLR camera up. I got my Go XLR, got the 4K capture. I'm going to go ahead and have like, you literally started like a pro and you're like, okay, I have 0 viewers, but I'm the best looking guy in here. Let's go.
Well, it was almost pro. I was actually streaming off of my iMac at first. So I had the PS4 and I had the game, like the Elgato game capture software, because OBS at the time didn't work on, it worked on a Mac, but you couldn't, the cam link wouldn't work on it for whatever reason. So whenever I had that, I actually they came out with some update, and I just ended up finding out it is super terrible to stream off of an Apple product. They're great to use for professional stuff like video editing and all that, but holy cow, don't stream off of them. And then about 8 or 9 months ago, I bought my first PC and streamed off that. And then I was like, man, this is cool, but I'm not getting all my frames because I'm streaming. So then I went and of course bought another PC. So now I do a dual PC stream. Because I'm like, I gotta be able to stream in 1080p at 60 FPS
there you go.
With all these scenes, and I want to play it 1440p still. I'm a little bit extra, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's very extra.
Yeah, he's got his setup. You guys can't see it, but it is just like he's decked out behind the scenes over here. So yeah, he's holding onto that mic. He's just like, I like the sound. It's good quality. Doesn't matter what it is. This is my mic.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, I am going to get a new mic eventually. This one's good for now, though. My business helps me. Like, the reason I'm able to buy this stuff is because I film so much crap all the time. And then it's like, oh, cool. I'm filming stuff. I'm filming a video for YouTube and I made money off of it. Okay, business expense, boom, PC. Like, you know what I mean?
Nice.
Like it makes it a little bit easier. Hopefully the IRS doesn't hear this and get audits me.
Bearded Luke audit 2021.
Audit 2022. Facts. Tremendous history, brother.
That's an amazing history. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find people who top that, but that's pretty epic.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So before we get into this week, I want to ask, because this week is obviously the time of trailers, trailer music, hype, story pages, info dump, all that stuff's always pretty good time in the game. As we were leading into this, how has Destiny been for you lately?
It's been a weird season, not season in the game, but season in life for me, because we just recently, so I told you about all that student loan debt. So it's been a weird year, obviously, for all of us. COVID has been interesting, but yeah, the house market, for whatever reason, got really hot during it. And we bought our house really cheap. And my wife was like, hey, what if we sold our house and then paid off all of our debt with the money? I'm like, no, that won't work. So then I didn't think about it for like 5 or 6, 7 weeks, maybe more than that. Maybe it was like 3 months. And then out of nowhere, I'm like sitting there like, wait a second. I'm like doing the math. That would actually work. So I talked to one of my pastor buddies, who's also like a financial advisor. And I'm like, hey, would this work? And would his wife's a real estate agent? It's just like perfect storm. Like everything worked. He's like, dude, this would work. That's going to be crazy, but let's try it. So we put our house on the market. We sell it in one day. Yeah. We make really good money off of it. And then on my birthday, I paid off every student loan, every piece of debt we had. And then we moved into our in-laws' house because we didn't have any money to buy a new house, obviously, because we used it for debt. So that during that process has been like Beyond Light came out the day that the day that our house was purchased. So like I was able to start it at my old house, but basically was only there for like 3 days and then we moved. So my whole setup, I had to actually stream and game at the church I work at. There's like, we have it in a old LA fitness building. So like our offices are just in this big gigantic room that was like a dance studio or something. So I had extra space. They're like, you can set your desk in there for now because I just didn't have enough space here where I'm at now. Right now, I'm in a renovated basement. Me and my father-in-law renovated it, so I have space, which I'm super grateful for. But I was streaming over there, so it was just tough driving over there to game. So I played a lot of Beyond Light at the beginning of the season, and then now I'm just getting back in. I got everything done. I'm like a SEAL guy. Like I'm a completionist, not as hardcore as like my buddy Teasing Teddy. That dude's got like
salute to Teddy. That's the legend in here. Yeah, he's a legend of the last word.
Exactly. Teddy has, max triumph score like that. Not that kind of completionist.
Max triumph score -1, and he's still been out of shape about that. Yeah.
Yes, the day one crown.
Yeah.
But it's been a really weird. Like I still got everything done. I got all my seals done this season, other than the flawless one, because I'm not doing that anymore. But that's a whole nother story. So where I'm trying to get at is it's been a weird season, I think, for the game, but more weird for me because I just haven't like been playing games as much. Now I'm getting back into the rhythm, but like it was a really hot start, and then it kind of just was like, but I'm the most optimistic dude ever. So like, to be honest with you, whatever really crazy stuff's happened in Destiny that everyone hates, I'm usually like, well, at least we still have this game. Like, at least it works.
I mean, that's fair compared to other things that launched in December afterwards that didn't work so well.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yes.
Really, that was an obvious couple.
Yeah, so that's where I'm right now, and it's like I know that it's rough. I've also been around for a while now, not at the very beginning as much, but like we have had a lot of really weird times in Destiny where it was really terrible, and then I just stuck to it, and then it got better again. Or I'm just like, maybe I just am too optimistic about. I think part of it is because I'm not like a full-time content creator. I don't play this game 12 hours a day like some people do for a living, and it would affect that my mentality a little bit differently if you don't have a lot of stuff to do during that 12 hours. You know what I mean? I'm like 3, 4, 5 hours a night kind of guy. So like that's still a lot of time, but I always have a lot of faith. And especially this past year being so weird with Bungie. I keep saying this. I say this on my podcast all the time, and I probably sound like a broken record, but the pandemic that's happening in the world where the company had to make stuff from home is going to affect the way the game, like we're lucky we even get anything, to be honest.
Reach it,
that's how I feel.
Reach it.
That's how I feel. I feel lucky to even have, because do you guys remember after King's Fall, we didn't get nothing until the April update.
I'm so glad, Luke, you're on fire right now. Like literally that's been my tally lately. It's just like, look, I get it. I get it. We love this game, and I came from that. I came from living in this game. I came from 365, 24/7. You know what I mean? It's always something. And to see now, and it's just like, the thing I'm struggling is I'm just seeing gamers just with there's no empathy and no plan B, you know what I'm saying, with something that they've lived in. And the reality is games don't work like that. Games generally, you don't play something in that one thing for 6+ years and then have thousands of hours in it and then talking about it's not entertaining me. It's just tough for me. You know what I'm saying? Now I get it. We can be frustrated. We can show, hey, this needs improvement. Definitely. Yeah. We're allowed to do that. But I just struggle with this whole, the world is ending and, they coming at Bungie crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, slow down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Still other things to do, other things to play. I get it. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting what you said about your journey now with your whole life was going on when you're doing the 4 to 5 hours. The reality is, based on metrics, the majority of players are playing like you. Yeah. So the vocal minority who are living in the game, whether it be the streamers, the full-time or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That is such a small percentage. And people have to look at the big picture, when it comes to that kind of stuff. Because most people fall into the category you were in during the house, phase. That's where most people fall into,
Yeah, and it's tough for, like, I don't envy being Bungie because people have like myself. I mean, I have 2,000 hours of playtime in this game. Can you imagine you're the only company that you own the company? Bungie is just themselves, and they have to create a game that somebody is playing for minimum 2,000 hours. And like before, if I got to play a game and it was 60 hours, like that was great. Okay, on to the next game. Yeah. We're over here playing this game for 5,000-6,000 hours. And they're like, okay, we got to figure out more content for them or they're going to kill us. Like, I think of it in that light, and you're right. Like a lot of people are not like, it's a very small percentage of the players that are actually playing. They're just usually the most vocal online because they're passionate about it, which I appreciate. Like critiquing the game is good because it helps it get better. Absolutely. But I think it gets dangerous when it gets into the part where people are like getting hostile towards Bungie. Like, listen, they're our friends. They're making this game for us. We should not yell at them very hard. I mean, we shouldn't be afraid of them, but we should also I just respect them because they're making something for us still, even during this weird time. Also, it's probably even more difficult. I just don't know. It's until we all get to go work at Bungie and see what it's like to work there. I feel like it's kind of tough to say anything really crazy about what's going on. I don't know if anything, this is the optimist in me. I don't know if anything's being made for Crucible, but it'd be really, we talked to Clintus on a podcast the other night and he says he knows a couple of the guys that work there. He's like, I can't imagine they're just doing nothing there. Yeah. Maybe they're working on something. I don't know. Right. So Yeah, and that's probably a not popular opinion, to be honest, right now. But I don't care.
I'm with you on the non-popular train.
Yeah, I'll be on that train with you.
I'm with you.
There's just two of you guys, and it's just one and two shoots.
Yep, just us.
Yeah, but the two of us will be at a community summit one day because we were so positive.
We're so positive.
You're like, who are the people that were with us in the struggles? Those two said nice things. Let's bring them in.
Oh my God.
And then you guys will be sitting next to the other 50 people who quit the game because they still do that. So
yeah, they'll bring them too. Why did you quit?
Why did you quit? And why were you smiling while you quit? I need to know.
Oh yeah.
Because Bungie has an impossible job of a franchise and a game that has been turned on for its 7th year now, and people are, and somehow you do have a game you've managed to keep people for 2,000 hours, and there's literally one other game that's done this. World of Warcraft is the only other one that is a franchise that has lasted this long and still had a decent amount of consistency around every release and seasons. And World of Warcraft's releases are so much farther apart. They're usually probably more substantial, but between seasons and things, but still like the cadence of which, and that's the thing too, is like you look at a calendar, and we can get into that a little bit, and you're like, hey, what's the season had to offer so far and stuff of that nature? And then you throw in COVID, you throw in those other things. And believe me, we have had our fair share of, hopefully it's come across of constructive criticism on this podcast and not too much bashing. But there are moments where, it's like there are certain decisions that can be one thing. And there are like true game mechanic decisions, whether it's like how fast it comes out or slow. That's a studio decision, and you can have disagreements with that and be like, hey, I don't think this is the best direction to go for the game. But also, as you're saying, like, we're getting something in a 3-month basis. They seem to be sticking with, again, it's a 13-week season. They just told us, and we're like, hey, I wonder how long this season's going to be. Exactly 3 months again. They're like, not delayed, nothing, just sticking hard and fast to it. And I don't know if they do it to themselves or it's just something they think they've got to do, but they have an impossible task. And we may apologize, we may criticize, we may have both sides of the discussion, but no, there's no way anything that they do is ever going to be enough, which is hard.
No.
Exactly.
I agree.
It's a tough position to be in. Tough position. The only thing, like you said, is just that, again, like World of Warcraft, in the console space, I've never seen anything like that. So, the pure longevity is just amazing. That's commendable. To keep interest that long, to keep people engaged that long through the highs and the lows, is still to be commended. And like, again, we don't know the effects of the pandemic. Like I said, I talked to different people in the industry. I know about motion capture. I know about orchestra. We had our guy Sky Lewin in. He was talking about the challenges with that. As far as voice actors being in the same room, there's a lot of constraints that really set people back. And then the last point, we can't forget, they're an independent studio now. They're independent. There's no Activision behind. This is all them. But that's what I wanted to say. But I just find it funny that people were quitting, and then the new trailer come out. Oh, it's on, baby! It's popping. No, keep the same energy you had, because we know Bungie. One thing about them, their marketing. First of all, the gunplay, we already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? The end game, we already know what it is. We know why we love this game. You know what I'm saying? The loot, we know what it is, but we know why we love this game. But when them trailers hit, it could be the worst. Even when Curse of Osiris trailer hit, we was like, whoa! There's something about
the
their
trailers,
marketing department. They know how to sell something, and it gets the feels bubbling, and that little bit of doubt you had, you get excited. You're like, all right, I gotta see, I gotta try. You come right back, and it gets you every time. So I just laugh at the people who say they quitting, because I know you coming back. You're coming back. So I'm just going to wait on my time and say, okay, which DLC is it going to be, this one, or is it going to be this fall? You're coming back. You always do.
You're coming back. They always come back.
Yeah, and that's
always come back.
I was going to say, go ahead, Luke.
No.
I was just say that, like you said, like the first tweet is a screen recording of Destiny 2 being installed, and then the second tweet is, did you see the Trials armor?
No! Oh, they brought my boy back up. Oh, it's on now. I got.
So true.
I see. I don't even call people out no more. I just sit there and laugh. I just because like maybe a month ago they had an uninstall video. They made an article. Oh, I'm quitting, and it's all okay, cool. We see. Do what you gotta do. But you're coming back.
You're coming back. You'll be back.
I was like, and that's like the thing. too, I was going to say is like the people who some people truly will get to a point where they're like, especially certain content creators, like Imtash is a prime example. He's covered the game so well for so long. He ventured out for an example and found even greater success in something else. And for him, it's the base of like, honestly, his is a business decision. He still may be like, hey, there could be a cool quest to come back for, but it's like, if I'm not doing this other thing, that's a thing. And for him, dude, congrats. Like, he hit like gold with Genshin, I think is what it was mostly. But it's like, for a lot of us, it's like, and I'll say that in my videos, like, I have been playing other things. I will still always play Destiny because if nothing else, I know I want to see it to the end. Always going to see how the content is. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs, you're going to have your ebbs and flows. But like the uninstall is so overly dramatic. And also, as you guys have said at this time, it's been done too many times. Like, stop it. Right. This is the only game that's like, hey, Division had something come out now. It was like, I don't even know if there was a blip on anything.
Bro,
but Anthem, Godfall, like, Outriders is, I'm leaning optimistic. We talked about it last episode where it's just because I think it's going to be a game that's got a good 50-hour chunk, cool leveling, fun abilities, like a bespoke end game. And it's like, it's a package, but it's not a live service. There will be an endpoint. When you're done, what's going to be waiting for you? Again, this. So it's okay to go play and experience other things and just know that, like, you want to go play some Call of Duty, you want to go play some God of War, which you should play. But still, this is going to be one of those few things you don't have to live in it, as you said.
Facts.
And that's going to be the best way, is to understand that it's either you're one of those that love Sherping, which a lot of the Twitch community is like, I'd love to take you through Hawk Moon missions. And that was a sad thing when we talked to CB last week of like some of the Sherpa missions and things that aren't in the game. That stuff does kind of hurt a little bit, but like you can definitely help a lot of people. But if that's not your thing and you're just, I want to play a game, play it, enjoy it when it's fun. And only just, if you're not having fun, there's a lot of other fun things. And then when it's fun again, come on back. It just, it doesn't have to be the big dramatic uninstall graph.
I agree.
The only time uninstall makes sense is if you like legitimately just don't have enough space on your computer to like download a new game.
Come on, buy a hard drive.
Yeah, or buy. That's what I like to do. But if you don't have enough money to buy a hard drive and you can't play any other games, just go ahead and uninstall. But make sure you say that's why. I'm just kidding. I feel like I've been playing other games recently too. And I only, for me, because I don't play as much as I want to. Once I've done all my seals and I have all my things completed, like there's not really a whole lot of stuff for me to do in Destiny. Then I feel happy to go like, I want to play Assassin's Creed and see how that rolls. I want to go play some. I bought FIFA again recently, which is
nice.
That just seems to have you. Did you play? Do you play soccer in real life? You have to.
I did. Okay. So I played soccer all the way through college. I played my whole life. I actually wanted to go pro, but I realized in college I'm playing Division 3 soccer. I'm definitely not going pro. This is it.
This is the extent of my.
You had that reality check, and you're like, "Yeah,
I'm like, frick.
I've tapped out."
Yeah.
I respect it, though. I respect it.
That's funny. But awesome. I was like, you would kick most people's butt on a soccer field, but you're like, David Beckham, even at 45, probably still got me. It's fine.
Oh yeah, at 60, he would school me. I'm just an American soccer player. We already have that going against us in America. So.
The females seem to do well. The guys, like the male U.S. soccer team, struggle busing. It seems for a while. So.
That's a huge conversation because the youth programs in the United States they ain't kicking it. But that's a whole nother podcast.
What it is. No, you're right. It's literally what I was just about to say. It's just. From a culture standpoint, we don't cultivate it.
No, we don't care about it. You don't grow up want to be a soccer player. You grow up want to be a football player.
Exactly. It's certain sports that it's just tougher to get into in the States because it's not grown. When you go internationally,
it's the biggest thing in the world.
These kids from
you're born with a soccer ball or a football, as they would call it. That makes more sense. But
exactly, it's a different energy, man, and it really shocked me. I was like, wow. As I got older, I was living in a bubble because this is truly the world sport. In my mind, I'm like, basketball, football, American football. Like I say with them, like I'm thinking that's some big deal, but no, soccer, aka football.
Yeah, you've got the Super Bowl, and then you've got the World Cup, which is truly the world coming together. So that's always every 4 years.
Unless we're not in it, then it doesn't matter which happened last time.
True that. Yeah, World Cup is a different energy, bro. Man, listen. Oh yeah, love it. Absolutely.
That one's cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's like I wish I was more into soccer for those rare moments because I've worked at a couple places. There's those couple soccer players that time of year, and they just absolutely lose their mind for certain things, and you're like, I get it,
dude. You've never been in like a soccer supporter, like a real soccer supporter section. It is nutty. Like, and even in the United States, like we have the Columbus Crew is in town. I've been a fan since I was a kid because the crazy part about soccer. I'm sorry, we're talking about soccer now on a Destiny podcast, but
this is our podcast that goes wherever it wants.
Tangent City, baby. Let's go.
The United States MLS started in 1996. It's only been around for like 25 years, which is insane because like the Premier League's been around for like 200 plus years or whatever. Yeah. And like we have the Columbus Crew, and I used to be a part of the thing. The Nordeck is what it's called, and there's different supporter sections in it. So there's like La Turbina, which is like the Spanish one, and then there's the Hudson Street Hooligans, and then there's the Crew Union. That's like the three that are in there, and everyone gets in, and it's just like there's like chants, and it was nutty. Like, and I'm not proud of this, but like we went to the MLS Cup that they had in the Crew Stadium once, and we lost, but they scored in the first few minutes. The other team did, and we were in the corner, and they came over. The player came over to the corner. Everyone was throwing full bottles of beer at them, like throwing. Like all you saw was like a rain of like tall boy Bud Lights just raining on this. He was like, he like ran away. Like, that's soccer. Like people get nutty. And it's just like chants the whole time, constantly. And that's just in the United States. If you go to like Old Trafford in England, in Manchester for a United game, 75,000 people every game. You can't. Well, whenever there's not COVID, you can't hear anything other than just chants constantly, and not like American chants like "Let's go team," "Let's go." No, like real songs,
bro. Real quick, because I know we turning this into the last. That's the soccer podcast, but he's
about to be our last podcast.
My first time, I know, right? The first time I went, it was I went to the UK, and then friend of mine is a big Liverpool fan, and we took a train from London and we went to Liverpool. It was Liverpool versus Hull. It was the most insane experience I've ever. Like they had a full song. This "You'll Never Walk Alone." It was it was insane. I've never seen that level of intensity and passion for a sport, and trust me, I am a big American football guy and basketball person, and to see it dwarfs any Super Bowl. It dwarfs, and this was a regular season game. This wasn't even anything like, you know what I mean? Like that's the different level of it's nonstop. But salute for sure, man. Yeah, I definitely hear where you're coming from on that, man. Tremendous energy for sure.
That's why I've always liked soccer. This is a good
diversion.
I was actually going to say, somebody in chat kind of nailed it and was like, so I was going to say, for you, first time you went to the farm, how excited were you?
That you could play soccer there.
Yeah,
it was
sweet. About that.
During the beta, or when was it the beta that they opened the farm? And then is that what it was?
Yeah,
there was a time where people were streaming and they're like, "I've been in the farm for 17 hours after the beta ended," like that kind of thing.
I think it was the farm because we thought that's all the solar space we were gonna have, and then we got to like the tower wall thing that we've been in for a while. So that was
forgot about that.
It was cool to play soccer in there. I enjoyed it, but you could also play soccer. Couldn't you play soccer in the tower eventually too, in that back area?
Yes.
I don't know if you can anymore since what's his name ships back there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's a good question. I don't know if you can still.
But yeah, I thought that was funny. I liked what they said. The farm soccer is about as obsolete as the men's soccer team. Somebody in the chat just said that. That's hilarious.
That's amazing. Somebody was even saying like, "Oh, like you could play Destiny and soccer." I was like, I don't know if anybody else played this damn game, but Mega Man Soccer. Did anybody else?
I never played that.
Oh, because it was like all the different like Mega Man powers and stuff like that. Oh, it was absolutely bonkers. It was like kind of like Mario Soccer and stuff. So of course, like NES game, but you've got Mega Man with all the different like, you know, Wood Guy and Saw Guy, like all those crazy people. They're playing soccer together, and you got like slides. Like, I'm probably awful at FIFA, and the couple times I picked it up, I'm like, I don't understand how I can be this bad at a video game because I am awful at FIFA. For the 2 or 3 times I've ever picked up like a demo and be like, oh my god, I'm but so bad.
Those games play great though.
Yeah. But on the other side, like Mega Man Soccer and like that type of stuff, those were fun. It's just been a long time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, apparently we have stuff to talk about in the world of Destiny an hour and 15 minutes into the podcast. It's fine.
Still haven't talked about anything, but it's cool.
No,
Destiny Soccer Podcast. It's cool.
So we got some stuff in the game. Where do you guys want to start? Because the trailer?
Yeah.
That seems like a good place to begin.
That'd be a good place to start.
What stood out the most from the trailer to you guys when you were looking through it? Like what what happened during the trailer? Multiple different pieces stood out the most to you guys.
Oh, let's go with the Luke.
This is gonna sound dumb, and this is me being like oblivious to things once again. But I watched it on Twitter, but with the audio off, and then like later on, everyone's like, "The Empress is gonna be there." I'm like, "Empress? What are you guys talking about? There's no Empress." I think that this main character, I didn't know that it was a female, which is. If that's what like there are in Cabal, I don't actually know what the genders are for Cabal, but
well, she's a female. Yeah.
I was like, was I watching the wrong thing? Because everyone's like, the Empress is here, and then I rewatched it. I'm like, oh, that is an interesting looking bad character that looks kind of like an elephant without a nose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I honestly, what stood out to me was I saw the palindrome and I got really excited. Old content, baby.
Old content.
Gotta get those reissues.
We like that reissue. We like that reissue, and it's our favorite reissue.
Yeah.
No
that
doubt.
and honestly, just I didn't actually. I mean, I'm pretty excited about this. I don't really care much for Cabal, so when I saw that it was Cabal again, I was like, oh my gosh, how many more times are we going to be
Cabal.
fighting against another version of the red whatever? But that's
Legion.
Not them. Now it's the whatever we're called. I think I read it somewhere. They called the what was it? It's somewhere in the. I don't know. It's somewhere in there, but I did like think the most hardcore part of the trailer was when she's like, bow to me, and Sval's like, no. And then, which obviously, if he would have bowed to her, I'd been like, what the heck's wrong with you? There's something wrong with you.
Yo,
it's not him.
I think for a second, people were like, is he?
Yeah, because he stuttered. He's like,
stuttered.
He walked up and was like, no.
Like, usually was like, no, we are guardians. Like he usually does stuff like that, but I don't know. It was interesting. What about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's I love it. There's nothing better than a Destiny trailer just to see where the direction is gonna go, and I was excited because I didn't see the whole Kato. That's the pronunciation of her name. Keitel. Yeah. I didn't see that coming. I didn't think we would get anything involving that storyline. So now that we have, and it's confirmed, I thought she was cool. This pseudo negotiation that's supposed to happen. Yeah. And, it's a boy Zavala. He ain't want to bend the knee. He did not want to bend the knee, and I got to respect it, so that was cool. Just seeing, I think for me,
whether we wanted it or not, we've stepped into a war with the Cabal on Nessus, the Cosmodrome. No.
Yes.
On everywhere.
You know what I'm saying? So that was interesting. I like my man O in the background, seeing part of the negotiation, see what's going on.
Hey, it's pretty quiet.
It's quiet. He got some stuff to say at the end, which I'll comment on. But, for me, the first thing that really excited me was strikes. I didn't think we were going to get, the 3. So I'm like, wow, that's cool. We're getting a new one, which I didn't see. I thought we were just going to get the 2, maybe revised, and that's it. So that was cool. I looked at the new activity. I'm like, okay, not 6-man, which I was hoping, but looked unique. So I'm like, all right, cool. Caught a snippet of the Crow in one of these negotiations with a bad load.
Oh, he
gold.
Looked good.
Osiris hit him up with some drip. That looked like some gold Osirian drip.
They're gonna have to sell that in the Bungie store.
Yeah, that drip is woo. So that was good. That was cool. It was good to see him out there. I want to know where they go with that because again, I didn't think, knowing Bungie, they'll do a story arc and then they'll go away from it. So I didn't know what was gonna happen. We're gonna see him again right after that. The thing. So it's cool to see him. And then, man, the last thing of the trailer, I will say, I mean, obviously the weapons, they talk about all the weapon infusion that they're putting back into it. Good. Trials, of course, I'm happy. I'm, Trials of Osiris family. I love that. But I think for me, at the end, and shout out to E for bringing it to my attention, because he's like, yo, you didn't see the end part? And I'm like, what you talking about? And it was like a second. And he saw that little Scorn...
Apparently it's a
what was that?
It's a normal looking Screeb, which somebody showed me a picture later on. I thought it was like a crazy looking Screeb, but somebody just took like a screenshot. But it is. This is going to be my part, so I'm just going to steal your thunder here.
Yeah, go for it.
The end of this is the only you covered the trailer. It's like, all right, I want the end part. I'll take that. So the end of the trailer. Couple things. One, Osiris is. So there's like 2 frames. I literally had to like go frame by frame in the video to try and figure out, because I'm doing this live on stream and I'm trying to like zoom fast forward. And every time it pops, I'm like, I can't pause it fast enough. So I'm going frame, pause. Okay. So it's a picture. It looks like a horror movie shot, like Resident Evil picture, but it's a scream. And then like the other, it's like a black frame, and then one more where it's a bit closer up and you can see the teeth, and it's definitely like, it's a scream. Right. And it's not a crazy one. I thought it was like an ogre scream because it looked all weird, but apparently they just look like that. It's just shot in a strange way.
Okay.
And then during that darkness part of the video, Osiris says, there is no light here.
No light in here. Yeah.
Which somebody in my chat brought to reminded me that's also what Zal says in the Whisper mission.
That's true.
And I totally forgot about that. So that's kind of an interesting implication of that piece. But the other side is it shows just like a ship. Now, it also looks like it's floating in the tangled shore and stuff of that nature to be like, you can't tell if that ship's in good shape or not because it's just kind of floating there. The bottom hangar door is open. And then there's a little bit of writing that shows up on screen. And my speculation, and again, it's like, this is my hope. I don't know what to expect.
Let's go.
The ship floating there, I think between chat and I talking about this for the last couple of days, we're hoping that's like a secret mission.
Ooh. Now, for like a gun? Like an like the exotic secret missions?
You have the Tex Mechanica redacted quest. So we don't know if it could be related to that. It would seem weird that a Hive Cabal weird ship is Tex Mechanica related because those two don't seem to connect. But maybe there's some weird, blueprint somewhere. But there's also a piece of lore. Thank you to my chat, by the way, because they're like, go look on this single piece of armor. There's one line that says this. And it says there's a rumor that Callus was going around scooping up Scorn. So if you kind of put 1 and 3 and 4.5 together, you can basically potentially say maybe there was a Cabal ship because it looks like it's floating in kind of an asteroid belt area that's driving around the like tangled shore trying to pick up Scorn. And in my mind, what I leap to, and I know this isn't going to be true, but I'll tell you another reason why I hope it is. I'm hoping this is like Alien Isolation. There's a ship that was, like one of Callus's like, hey, go pick up these, as many as you can find. The Scorn get out, they take over the ship, and now it's just like overrun, like Alien Isolation type thing is what I'm picturing.
That'd be kind of fire. I see.
And then Horror Dungeon, thank you, exactly what I'm thinking about. And then the other piece is Nine Hydras is an amazing artist. Shout out to her, Eve, for Bungie. She has made like part of 0 Hour, helped with Shattered Throne. So we're talking secret missions and dungeons. And I'm going, same person. Said, and that's the only thing she tweeted was like, just tweeted about, be like that, and there is no light here. That's all she tweeted from the trailer. And I'm just like, know she on it. And I'm like, okay, so I'm like, put all of that stuff together. I'm like, secret mission. What if it's like a timed one where you got to go into the ship? You've got to like get into like the bows of the ship, go steal this like blueprint or something that's in there, and then escape within time as well. I could see it happen. And again, this is way too far. And it's everything I say is always temper your expectations. I'm not tempering for this one because I want to see some play.
Yes.
I'm excited about that because those are my favorite pieces of Destiny. The raids are great and Deepstone Crypt really cool. Always in King's Fall. Trust me, you and me agree on that raid as well. But the dungeons, the solo experience, those have been my favorites. So crossing my all I'm saying is I'm crossing my fingers. It could literally be nothing. It could be a cinematic that goes into season 14 and it's squat. But my hope is that.
I will say this to jump in and add on. The timing is about right. If it is, because we got our raid, right? We know we're not most likely gonna get Vault revisited this season, right? So it's gonna be, you figure, another season for that to come back. And it's about dungeon time. It's about dungeon time. Yeah, it definitely is. So I could see it, and we looked at that calendar, which we'll get into. There's some room, some wiggle room space that could do it. And man, like shout out to the chat. I was just my whole thing was like, because I'm an Osiris fan, I'm like, Osiris, would you stay in the house? You ain't got no go. Stay in the house, bro. Stay back in the top. What is you doing out there, man? Like I didn't think he'd be moving around and doing this stuff again. I'm like, this is not what I want to hear right now. I don't want to hear about you bellowing that there's no light in some area which you ain't supposed to be. Please get back to the bazaar at the
Go
tower.
sit there until we get you another ghost.
Exactly.
Somehow.
We're going to find this, or the cigar, if she still exists, or get something. We're going to work it out. But that was my whole thing. But now, all jokes aside, I do hope it is a dungeon. That would be cool. And yeah, and the last thing I'll say was no Leviathan. No Leviathan. So I was interested. You know, I'm very curious to see what has happened. I'm curious to see Cadle and the Callus relationship, if that gets touched on even more during the conversations we have with her. But the vibe I'm getting, I don't know if you felt agree with this, Luke, that even though we didn't agree to her terms, if you look at the thing, it's almost like we have to prove our worth to her in Cabal, like the way they respect each other. It's like through strength, right? So it's like, okay, we do this, we beat her champions, we do this, then it's like, okay, I'll align with you because as in the Cabal way, you have earned it, kind of thing. What do you get from that, Luke?
Yeah, I feel like, and if I'm predicting what's going to happen, I'm predicting that it's going to twist. So like she said, you need to bow to me, and what they do need to work together. Everyone needs to work together to defeat the darkness, but it has to be the other way. It has to be on the good side of things. It can't be like a dictatorship where the Cabal are leading everything. It's got to be like a two-way streak. So I think you're right. We're going to like prove ourselves to her. I don't think that she's going to be someone we kill. I think it's going to be we get to a point where she respects us and she's like, does the hand, it's just at the end, like, you know what, buddy? And shakes our little tiny guardian hand. And then,
it's like, I'll see you on the gridiron, fist bump.
Like, yeah. And then somehow the Cabal are maybe on our side, or like maybe this is all leading up to, cause I think this is all leading up to Lightfall, which is going to be, lots of aligning of teams and a big army. Because last time it didn't work. Because last time it didn't work very well when it was just the humans and the Guardians fighting. It needs to be everyone fighting for the system. So I think this is just a start to that. Also, and before I forget this, imagine how funny it would have been if Cade was still alive and he was in that room whenever she was saying "bow to me."
Oh God! What would have been his little one-liner?
One-liner would have been lit. Yeah, facts. You're right.
But that's kind of what I feel like. And I just thought, I didn't even think about that till just now. Like that is probably the route it's going, and that's like a good. I want my mind to keep thinking that because I need the storyline to keep going, because it kind of stinks at the beginning of Beyond Light. Like the darkness came, and then that big light happened, and then we lost part of the system, and then we didn't talk about it much more after that. Like the next day, Beyond Light just came out. I'm like, this is crazy. Did everyone just die? Like the whole place blew up.
Yep.
But so I want that storyline to keep happening, and obviously it's going to, because they have cutscenes that are literally them saying the darkness is here and we are surrounded by it and you must bow to us. But of course the Cabal is going to make it a little bit tougher for us to figure out how to make that happen. We have to prove our worth and do a season of stuff. Or what do you think? Why do you guys think, and this might be off, why do you guys think it's called Season of the Chosen?
That's a good question.
What do you think?
I mean, I'm a little confused because the Callus storyline to me felt like, we were aligning and doing things for him. You know what I'm saying? Like we were setting up when we have a relationship with Callus, right? We know the story with the whole Midnight Coup, which I think is an awesome story. You know what I'm saying? Which is, Cadle and the powers that be, with Dominus Gaul she overthrew her own father. You know what I'm saying? So this is interesting. I mean, that, does she know we're working with Callus? You know what I'm saying? Like this dynamic with Callus is very interesting. I'm dying to know one about Callus. What's his plan? What's his overall goal? The relationship, the Leviathan, that whole thing. But to your point, narratively, there's a lot of questions here because it does feel like we are going to align with her. You know what I'm saying? And it does feel that it's almost like Luke said, like, it feels like let's be real. We did Beyond Light, Varix and those fallen that are not on the side of Aramis, they're leaning towards the light, right? You got the remaining Cabal who, let's be real, are very fractured. So let's be real. First of all, she ain't got no reason pulling up on nobody, talking about bowing anybody.
That meme. I love the meme that is rolling around. Be like, bow.
You see the meme, right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
what have we done? We've killed gods, all of this. We've been kicking the crap out of the Cabal. What are you thinking? Like that one killed me.
Who are you to never come to anyone demanding anything after we done whipped you for the last 4 expansions. Like, stop it. But I just had to get that off. But anyway, the whole thing is, it's like, you see this brewing as far as another ally. So it seems like, Cabal, Fallen, Guardians, on the side of light. Yeah, I'm and obviously we see Hive has, is with the darkness. It's just interesting to see how the teams are shaping up and the matchups and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go back to you. I'm like, what do you guys think? Like, as far as what's cooking?
It's like, I mean, you got Season of the Chosen. And it's like,
what does it mean?
Yeah, what does that imply? And it's like, part of it is just the implication of you see Keitel and like Zavala and Osiris, and then you see a piece of that cutscene later where they're standing over like a Scion standing in front of a chest, and they're talking to Crow's behind Zavala. Crow gets an upgrade if he's standing next to Zavala, by the way. So I'm very curious how the hell that pans out.
That's true.
Yeah, how is that?
Yeah, but again, she was always like, I'll get my gilded knife and I'll see you on the battlefield. Like, it's almost more of like a competition who's going to come out on top.
Yes.
Because even when like she steps back and you see the sights get drawn on the two main, like Zavala and Osiris, it's not like I'm going to kill you. It's I want to see, it's like, bow to me. And Zavala's like, no. So it's like, okay, we have different ideas. She's a military leader.
Right.
But it's like the bigger evil, like is the enemy of my enemy, my friend.
Right.
That's the point of also, she's like, bow now. Okay, they're not going to bow. All right, let's see what they're made of. And I think this is going to be the season of, either, chosen is a weird word to try and, so it's like, I don't know how I can specifically tie that together. But for me, it does seem like battlegrounds are literally what this season's thing are called.
Right.
Our champions versus their champions, going head to head in the gridiron to see who's going to basically come out on top. And I think if we kick the crap out of them enough, which we know we're going to do because we beat the Cabal all the time, I feel like she almost has to, and I don't know how Callus is going to come into play, but the Cabal, I don't know where the Fallen fall. Still haven't figured out where they're going to fall, but I think the Cabal are hopefully going to be smart enough in the long run because Callus did the same thing. He put us through games. He tested us. He put us through.
They're all about respect. Like that's how they. That's their ideology.
Yeah. So the war, as you said, like the Warriors, if you can win in, the gladiator games, if you come out on top, I'm going to respect you and then we can work together. But we have to. So this is kind of like the battleground proving grounds per se.
Yes.
I still don't know why Chosen specifically is there, whether like Crow has a specific story to be like chosen for him or I don't know. I don't know where the Chosen comes in, but I definitely will say like, I think we, one way or another, Callus, Keitel, both, none, some ally with Cabal to go against the darkness. Right. Like, because she's like, these are the two.
Right.
We got to do this together to hold a shot. So it's like, I think it eventually has to get there.
Yeah. Last point, I know we're going on with this long. It's just maybe in Cabal terms, them seeing us as the chosen. I don't know. I'm just, it's a very interesting term to make it season of the chosen. So I'm curious to see where they go.
Same.
So we got that. You mentioned the strikes. So we get the two old ones from D1, which are going to be new to some people. So you've got Sepix in the Devil's Lair, and you've got the Fallen Saber Strike. All I can say is the Warsat protection on a Grandmaster Nightfall.
Oh,
good freaking luck, dude.
That part's terrible.
That part was hard in D1. Awful.
Yeah, that part was
and now
awful.
doing a Grandmaster with champions. And
you're going to be going in with 3 Titan bubbles every time.
Seriously? Like,
facts, yeah.
So I know that's going to be dicey. Sepix, I mean, you can figure out that one will be a bit more manageable. I'm sure there's champions, of course.
I just need E to hear his music.
See, that's the thing, though. The Sepix perfected music, when I got the rock remix, sadly, I don't think that will be there. I don't think we'll get it. I don't think we'll get it. Or I would love it if they would occasionally just like, when you go into the strike, you don't know which track you get. I would love it if you could have both.
That's true, and they have to figure out a way to tell us like that, like they did with the Omnigol remake.
Yeah,
they have to figure out a way to make it make sense in the lore. We've killed this dude twice, so who's the third one-eyed man who's going to be in there?
Yeah, exalted servitor that sustains the fallen house of devils in the Cosmodrome.
Now, who is the house of devils? Is that Eris or Aramis? Is that?
I can't remember
that. No, hers was the house of darkness, but the devils was Skolos. Is that right? Somebody in chat may know.
I don't know that.
Yeah, it's like somebody in chat will know. But Yeah, it's like that one seems kind of arbitrary, like out of nowhere. So again, I do hope they get the little bit of lore to explain why it's there. But we get a third news strike, and I'm with you, Cog. I did not see it coming. I did not see a new coming.
So happy,
There's a
bro.
big, like, big giant mobile tank on Nessus that we're gonna like. Kind of has a pretty cool, like, not quite Wrath of the Machine and like Zamboni vibe, but definitely something where we're jumping around on this tank. It's pretty big. I think it could be a lot of fun. And it's just if nothing else, like we're going from 7 up to 10 strikes, so the strike pool will be cool. Now, granted, I can sit there and say I wish they still could mess with some of the strike modifiers a little more than they do, but at least we got 3. But for some people, be like, I've seen this strike for 3 years. It's been a while since I've seen it. No, it's like, and I was like, so it will feel a little better. But for some, it's like I got 1 for like an entire year is what some people are going to see. So, I mean, overall, I'm very curious to see how they handle the lore piece. And I think for me, that's where Destiny has me the most at this point. Is the story. I want to see where this story goes because they've been building it for so long and we finally think they have like a narrative, like through line and arc to go through these things. And the story is what has me the most excited. And the activities are just kind of like almost the journey along the way until something just blows me away.
To push it through. Yep. That's how I look at it yourself. Yeah, I really like these. Those 2 strikes are, the 2 ones are beloved. Sorry for the thing. But Proving Grounds, I can't wait to see too.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm excited just to get the Cosmodrome used more because I love it and I'm glad it came back, but there's just not a ton of stuff to do there. Yeah. And it'd be cool for them to not only give us older stuff, yes, but if they could continue to figure out ways to add on to the Cosmodrome, kind of like how they do with the EDZ. They've added all kinds of random like little nooks and crannies in there where you can go where they just like the Hawkman mission, like all that stuff wasn't there before. So I feel like they could totally do that with the Cosmodrome just because it's a cool spot. Yeah. I love strikes. I've been very vocal about it, but I've not been a huge fan of strikes in D2. I don't know. They just don't hit the mark for me. I don't know if they never will because this is like I feel like it's like a syndrome that D1 players have. Like nothing probably will ever be as good.
I know.
We always compare it to what it was when it first started. And when something when you experience it the first time, it's tough to make something better than that. But I'm very excited about Devil's Lair. I didn't really like the Fallen Saber Strike a ton just because
that's tough.
It's a tougher one, but not. It's I don't know. But the new one, does the new one come out on the day that this comes out, or does it come out later? I'm looking at
comes out 6 to 7 weeks later, depending on if you own the season pass.
Okay, because I'm looking at the thing and I couldn't find out. Is it Proving Ground Strikes? Yeah, March 23rd. Yeah. Okay, so I'm very excited about a new strike. I wish that they would do that more. The only thing which we'll probably talk about a little bit is I hate that I don't see a new Crucible map on this again.
So we can broach that right now if you want to, because that's about as good of a transition as we're going to get into that wonderful topic. How does one of the, there are people can say hype, this, that, the other thing. The one underlying thing is people are like, cool. 0. I mean, you've got trials. Trials is the thing that they do. They've got weapons, one of which is very ironic. You've got the armor, which looks fire. You've got some cosmetics. They talk about that stuff. But general Crucible stuff, maps, modes, reworks, 0.
0.
So I just wanted
a bunch of Iron Banner.
When that sunk in, yes, I know they actually put Iron Banner on there multiple times. They hadn't done that in a while to be like Iron Banner. Like, this is what you're going to be doing.
They need to fill slots up.
We're going to cover the calendar a little bit later, but just the general feeling of when it sinks in, when PvP is not a big focus here, and then the TWAB came, still mostly just trials. Where do you guys sit? And Cog, I'm going to give it to you first, just because. What are you feeling?
Got my Crucible shirt on today.
You're right here.
Just trying to hold out hope here. I mean, look, it definitely is concerning that there was not one mention of a new Crucible map. It definitely was concerning. There was no mention of a Crucible mode. Trials armor looks fire. Let's get that out the way. Trials weapons look fire. Gotta give it out. You know what I'm saying? I've seen that messenger in there. That looks like it's going to be in the Cold Denial class. And right now, if you're not like Cold Denial, and if you got the No Time to Explain, I'm wrecking in PvP with that. Don't time to explain. I feel bad for the people who don't have it. It's really strong.
It's so good.
It is so good. So for the messenger to be in that archetype, incentive, reward, get in there. We got to see what, and they said new trials, weapons, armor, and more. I'm holding out hope for what the hell is and more. Let's see what that is.
More?
What is more, right? The hand cannon look fire. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna front. It looks like the design. New ships, new Osirian.
What's the other one? You just skipped over one of the weapons. What'd you skip over?
Sword. Oh, the sword. Sword look
the most ironic Trials edition that you've ever seen in your life.
We can 3-peak with it.
Yeah.
True. You know what I'm saying? We gotta fix the issues.
Yeah, that was the best thing. I gotta interrupt because that was the best thing. Be like, oh, Bungie said, oh, you guys wanted swords? You guys said something about swords and Trials? Here's a sword.
Now look. Like the timing couldn't have been any worse. But remember, as we know, they developed in twos or whatever. I know. Right?
Cosmos
this
just
stuff was already done. Yeah. Click. Yeah, it was. They knew they fell into this joke. You know what I'm saying? They fell right into it. We get it. It's a bad look to introduce a sword with 3 peeking is what it is. But at this point, they're not going to retract what was already in production already. You know what I'm saying? The vibe this is how I'm looking at it. Yes, it doesn't look like, I'm going to be real. We're going to get a sandbox update.
At the end of the season.
You don't think we're going to get, oh, that's right. You don't think we're going to get any type of I think we get a little sandbox on the patch day. We just got our
sandbox update right now.
Yeah, you might be right.
Actually, we get the sandbox update at the start of the season. We don't even have it yet.
We don't even have it yet. Hopefully a little slight sandboxy
The only thing they're going to do in the middle is the Titan, I feel.
Right. And the Titan, stasis. We know it. And and Arbalest. We know Arbalest is going to get touched at some point, right? But look, the vibe I'm getting, this is the Trials fix season. You know what I'm saying? Crucible, the pure Crucible, what we really miss, what we really need, I think has to be addressed by next season. I just think logistically, as much as no one wants to hear it, and I don't want to hear it, you know what I'm saying? I'm sad that Crucible is the way it is, you know, but the reality is I think that it's the next season when they actually can apply the feedback that we've been complaining about for so long. And that's what I'm holding out hope for. But what you think, Luke? I mean, you know, I don't know how big you are with the PvP situation, you know, where you at with that.
Yeah, I'm the kind of guy that I will level up as hard as I can and get to max power at the beginning of a season. And then PvP is what keeps me around at the end. Yeah. Like I have my flawless title, I have my unbroken. So I've spent my time in the competitive scene. The thing that kind of stinks is like this little 3-month span where I haven't been able to game as much has kind of like, I'm also like, please don't judge me. I'm a controller player on PC.
No,
are you as well, Cog?
I feel like I'm actually mouse and keyboard. I feel like I'm the minority on this podcast.
I feel like you're the minority. Every time we have somebody
everybody who's like controller. Because it was like, I think Ascendant was Ascendant controller. No, he might have been.
There we go. Yeah. Controller gang.
Yeah, you and Teddy both. Yeah, no wonder you and Teddy are friends. You guys are both controller.
Makes sense he's friends with Teddy, my man. Teddy, we get you back in 21 episodes. We're back on Cadence.
We got him scheduled. He's coming.
I love Teddy.
That's my guy.
I play. It stinks. I'm like a sniper man. I love sniping, and like in between last season and this season, they took a little bit of that aim assist away, and my shot has been so off, and I haven't had enough time to like practice to get it back to where it was. So, and just, I don't know, every sandbox switch up kind of like messes with me a little bit. Like I've been using the, I sound bad. I don't ever remember what's that Iron Banner hand cannon that hits like a truck?
Steady hand.
Steady hand. And what is that archetype again? Is that one?
That's 120. 120 is a beast right now.
120s are good. And I've been using that and it's been great, but I'm always... I love playing PvP and I really want it to get more competitive, but I also want it to be refreshed. So every season that it's not refreshed in any way, and by refreshed, I mean like I'm a COD boy. So like give me a new map and that's refreshed to me. Like that's all I need, or an old map that was good. That, or just acknowledge that cheating is rampant or this or that. Like those are the kind of things that I love, but I also... My friend one of my friends, Maddox, I don't know if you guys know Maddox. He's a streamer that does community scrims, like a really positive, like not as much like the face it, like super sweaty scrims, but just more like he has his community come in and do stuff. That's been like the most refreshing thing for me, PvP wise, like being able to take it into your own hands and be like, all right, we're only going to use these guns with this thing and this, and that's been pretty fun. But like that can only last for so stinking long.
Exactly. No, I agree with brother.
Like I want Rift back, or just like something that,
man.
That or like the gilded seals is kind of cool, but I feel like they missed the mark on that because it goes away after a season.
Yeah, we had Cloud Plays. We had a good joke with that one. Yep.
So I don't know. I'm in like the feeling of it needs to change very soon because I'm so sick of playing against the same like 20 people because it's the player pool is like really small right now, and the competitive side of things. I still think if in quick play it's fine, but I like the competitive part. I'm not the most competitive person in the world, but I do like a good like exhilarating battle where it's not just like a streamer that streams all day and is like a 3.0 KD playing against me, because I'm not that good. Like if
you're a 3.0 KD, you're maybe if you're 5.0 KD, you're cheating.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 100% accuracy. But I don't know. I would just like something like, I'm pumped about these weapons and trials because that's going to get me back. Because once they stopped adding new stuff, I was like, there's no point in it. I got the seal the one time. I was not doing
it last year. I was like, it's no new stuff. I agree.
Yeah.
And we knew that the new stuff was coming. So I was like, it didn't make any sense. They already kind of predicted that this season would be the new stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm not going to hit my head against the wall. It's not going to last that long. Blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. Might as well get the new hotness, then do that. I mean, I'm what you look like. My thing is, it's old sad because
new hotness.
Old and busted versus new hotness. Exactly. It's just sad because when I do my pinnacles or I'm in there, I'm having fun. And comp, so, I'm having fun too. Ever since Iron Banner solo queue and comp solo queue are a thing, when I am in there, I'm having a good time. I really am. I'm
same.
It's fun, and it's like I want a reason to still be in here. You know what I mean? And that it's just finding that motivation. It's just not there. So now we'll get to it. With the whole whatever they're adding, we see what they're adding, and as far as the weapons and stuff like that, but. I'm at this point, I'm just even hoping for, since they're not doing no major change right now with playing core Crucible, can we at least get the rewards from like can we get some golf balls for the Valor update? Can we get some prisms?
Yeah.
Can we get some modules?
Yeah, shout out to Ascendant Nomad. I mean, he did his whole Crucible rework video, and he's just like, you can take everything. I don't care. But it's like, that's one of those things I think the Glory playlist needs reworked into, and I know a lot of people have said it, but it's like, I haven't played StarCraft on PC, and I sucked at it, by the way. I was never very good, but you still had your ladder system, your number, rank, your tier, your silver, gold, platinum, bronze, diamond, whatever, and it gave you something to strive for, to be like, I'm in here, maybe at least for me, if I could ever play enough to get decent enough to get to gold. I know there's like crazy people above me, but if I can get to if I can go up a tier, I'm going to feel like I improved. That's one of those things that Crucible and that grind has not had. I mean, you already said the Gilded Seals, like, unbroken. Like, really? You're going to go for that again?
Yeah.
No, but... that wasn't fun the first time.
It wasn't fun the first time.
No, but, like, that's the piece to where it's like, for somebody like me, I'm never going to claim to be like, there are people who destroy me in PvP all day long. Get it. But I'm always kind of like, okay. And that would be a way for me in my head to go, is it a good match? Is it a bad match? I always have the matches that I feel like I'm on a roller coaster. If I play a lot, like I just got destroyed and got my crap pushed in. And on the other side, I'm like, I'm over here and I'm like, I just destroyed them. How did those two games happen back to back? Right. And if there was some consistency in like the skill level I'm playing against and that my skill was slowly creeping upward, it would at least show that I'm doing something.
Right.
And that's where I think quick play can have its like fun, yes, no, maybe, I sucked, I killed everybody. That's going to happen in there. We get that. And like fun game modes too. But some type of like ranked ladder system, and I'm not the first person to say it by any means, would give, and again, put also decent rewards in there as you level up, get certain things. But it's like, that is what's going to give people on a competitive side something. Because if you're not going to get rid of it, which some people are like, get rid of Crucible, get rid of Stasis. By the way, I'm going to tell everybody now, Stasis is not going anywhere. They put too much money into it. They're not just going to turn it off.
Yeah, it's on the map. It's on the roadmap for new aspects or whatever, right?
Yeah, new aspect coming. So it's not going anywhere. So it's like, now it's like for them balancing it, trying to do things to it, that's one thing. But it's not going anywhere. But yeah, some reason to go in there would be nice.
Yes. Yeah, I think people have gone way overboard with the anger with Stasis. I keep saying this. It's the other ones have been around for 7 years. Like some of them have been around for 7 years of balancing. This is the first season that this was in here. Like we all should have known that it was going to be broken in some sort of way. It's freezing. There's always stuff broken in other games with freezing somebody. So I think that this season they're going to be tinkering with it a lot more than they were in the past, which is good. And I just want to encourage people that anyone's ever listening to this and you're getting shatter dived, it'll get better. I promise.
It'll get better, baby. It'll get better.
Maybe I promise. I'm just kidding. I can't promise things. I'm not making it, but I do agree with you with when I play Crucible, I don't play I feel like I play really good whenever there's like a motivation there, like Unbroken Seal for 3 seasons. I was motivated to get to 5,500. Whenever Recluse was available at like getting to 2,200 or whatever, I was like, I'm going to play my best. I'm going to practice all the time. Now it's like when I go play comp, it's like, unless you're like carrying someone or trying to help someone get to 5,500, there's like, it's kind of competitive, but it's also kind of like when my motivation goes away, my skill level goes down. I don't know why that is.
No, it's fair.
That's how Crucial's been for me all season. It's and last season, other than like when I was trying to get the flawless seal, it's like, this is fun. I'll play like 3 comp matches and I'm like barely paying attention. I'm like reading my chat. I'm not like, you know what I mean? And I feel like what you said, Abon, it's like it's like comp. Like comp's like a good groundwork for it, but like some sort of actual ranking system, which has been talked about so much by so many people, like some sort of rank, like something from like look at Overwatch or like there's like so many different options that would just bring motivation. Even loot, loot is good motivation, but if there's something even deeper that motivates people on a competitive level, because competitive people don't care as much about loot as much as they care about being like, I'm better than that other person because I beat them, and it shows for it on this ranking system. You know what I mean? Which would then also make it, I've always thought it would be cool, and it makes it's very difficult for Destiny to be like a competitive like esports game because of like the sandbox and the way that weapons change. But it would be so cool if there was some sort of way to make it on that level, not just because it's cool, but also because I would love for more people's eyes to be on it, because it's such a good feeling game. Even no matter where Crucible's at, playing PvP is fun. Like, as much as people say it's easy, like I get it. A lot of people are ballers at this game. I'm not like the most insane baller. I think it takes skill. Even though the hitbox is big, it still takes skill that you have to hit people in the head. Like in Call of Duty, the time to kill is so fast, you can shoot them in the stomach and they die. In Destiny, if you shoot someone in the stomach, you're going to get killed because they're going to tap you in the head 3 times. I've always appreciated that. Like when I first started playing Crucible, I was like, this is not very easy. I have to hit them in the head. Like I was not conditioned to only shoot at the head.
Not conditioned.
I gotta shoot wherever the person is. Maybe that's just the player that I am, but it's a fun. It feels good. The gunplay is good. So if they could just add like just a few little things, they got everything else there. Yeah, and then it would make the community feel like they're being listened to. I think that's the biggest problem is the PvP community feels like they're in the dark. They feel like, why don't you care about us? Obviously, there's less of us than the PvE community, but come on, just.
No, I agree. But I think it's, to add on. Shout out to the dab. Shout out to Justin making the dab. But yeah, man, it's just like, I listen, they know. At this point, it's a meme with we're listening. Like they know what's going on. It cannot be that they are, in my opinion, I'm at the point now where I'm like, all right, it has been neglected so much now. It cannot be a situation where they have not heard us and they just trying to get through the day and not listen. You know what I'm saying? It can't be that. So it's got to be someone, and that's why I'm hoping when we hear from our mans, what's our man's name, E?
Joe Blackburn.
Blackburn, when we hear from the Blackburn, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, we haven't heard from Luke in a bit. I need to hear from you.
I think it's going to be Joe, not Luke this time. That's why.
Probably Joe this time. Okay, so Luke's doing what Luke do. But Joe, when he dropped the State of the Union, I need to know logistically, what's the issue? Why is the holdup? We know the community wants this. They know it. We know it. It's got to be coming, but the reasoning why has to be explained. And that's what I'm holding firm for. But for this season, it's not it. Let's just call it what it is. There's no new maps. Trials, though, should get a resurgence. And I'm curious to see how the cheating aspect is also addressed as well. For PC as well. And again, I think this is a cool for trials, at least to get that a little shot in the arm for that. I'm gonna go into trials this season. Like there's motivation now. I just was not doing it this last season at all. There was no motivation in Beyond Light at all. But now I'm looking for it, man. We'll see. We'll see. So that's my mindset with the whole Crucible thing.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like the armor alone, I was even saying to Aries in chat, somebody said it it might have been DCP I was listening to last night. It looks mean and I love it.
Yeah.
It just looks mean, aggressive.
The Hunter look mean, bro.
Hunter looks good, but dude, the eye holes on the Titan are just like that. Like,
fire.
Dude, I will say, like, if I'm ever gonna go after a set of armor, that Titan armor probably fire, one of the most fire I've seen for me in a while.
Yeah. You're right. He is like the Titan's helmet literally looks like this. Like,
he's like, right? Yeah. I was like, so it's not a giant.
Aimbot you.
He doesn't have like wings or a satellite on his head. Like he doesn't have like a giant shoulder. Everything looks like clean, tight, angry, and I'm gonna kick your ass. Like, and all of them do. Like the Warlock is probably the most minimal of the three, but still looks damn good. But I would say the Hunter and the Titan.
Hunter the Titan got it.
Just
no doubt.
Yeah,
they got it. It's fire, bro.
So, and of course, if the Summoner's a pulse rifle, that pulses are my thing. So, see if I can. So yeah, might be asking for some backpack help at some point because I'm definitely not.
Holla at me.
Yeah,
let's
need
three
that
of us.
Backpack.
Let's all three play Trials together next season. That'll be fun.
I'm going to be going for that bounty. Needs that bounty.
Yeah, 3 wins.
Need that bounty,
baby. Let's go.
Well, one thing that might actually mess up the world of like Trials is our new kinetic grenade launcher friend. Maybe kinetic. We don't know. But we are getting a breach load grenade launcher salvager salvo, which say that 10 times fast. That is our pursuit weapon for the season. Now, it looks a lot like Mountaintop.
It rhymes with Mountaintop.
Hopefully there's no macro missile perk.
They will not put that back in.
Oh man, I
you
hope
want
it's
it?
in there.
Luke wants it. Luke wants it?
I want it for PvE.
For PvE, that's what
not PvP, but like
PvE
I like
lit.
Recluse and Mountaintop Recluse in combo and PvE was like, oh yes, oh my gosh, I feel like a god.
God tier loadout. Yes.
Yeah, what did you guys think of that one? Just any have to see it when we see it, don't know what the perk is, just kind of like, if nothing else, it does look like a kinetic, and as we lost all of the options, I want it to be kinetic, so we just have one of those, because Malicious Birthright and Mountaintop are both gone. So if you do want to just go energy and kinetic grenade launcher, it'll just be nice to have one. So I'm hoping that is. Outside of the perk, I won't know till I see it.
I think it's going to be cool. I really like my, I'm trying to remember the name of it. I probably don't like it as much as I can't remember the name of it. Here we go. My Wither Horde. I really like the Wither Horde, and if I'm going to use a kinetic, grenade launcher, I'm usually going to use that because it's just nice in PvE to have I used it a lot at the beginning of the season actually, because you get those little pools and it just felt really powerful. It was so powerful they turned it off for a while in PvP. And every once in a while I really like to have, just because I used Mountaintop so much before in PvE, I would like to have a really good alternative to that, so that's not overload in PvP kind of thing. So I hope that it's good. I get excited seeing grenade launchers just because I like using them in PvE. That's it. I don't like to use them in PvP, obviously. I'm not. I know some people who will be in PvP with fighting lions, just destroying. That's not me.
Yeah. I don't do amazing, but if I've after the what was the grind? It was it
Mountaintop, right?
Was it Mountaintop? Was that the crazy one? Yeah, it was
that was the one.
You had to use all the grenade launchers, but you also had to get heavy kills as well, and those were kind of annoying. But no, going through that training for Mountaintop, which is why I kind of miss those style of quests, dude, my skills with breach load so far improved. Fighting Lion, having the ability to do the damage it does, being primary ammo, so I'm literally just running around with that constantly. Then decent weapon, working on bounces, angles, timings, it's not the most efficient, but it is a fun way to play, to try and be hey, lob it. Oh, cool. I got the right explosion. Bam. Dead. It's fun to mess around with. So I hope people don't get to where they abuse it with the new changes for you can hold it down, and if you hit them, it's it's going to be the direct hit. I think people worried you could bounce it and it just does all the things, and still connects. You don't have to worry about the timing because that is part of it. The skill of the hold it down, figure out the timing. Like if I'm going to bounce it off a doorway and go try and catch somebody waiting on the other side, I got to make sure I time it right, not bounce it. Oh, I hit him in the face. Cool. Like, so I'm hoping the skill's still there. But I goofily had a fair amount of fun getting into that one. And that's, as you said too, is like, give me something to grind. I miss those Crucible quests that you could only get in there, that I had to work on certain things.
You had to be in comp for that.
And it was like, and it would force you to play a different play style and teach you stuff. And I miss that stuff.
I miss that. I do. I miss pinnacle weapons so badly. I mean, for all those reasons you said. And yeah, I mean, you know, to get back on point with the breach load, I'm with Luke. Like, I do like, you know, that it's coming back. Hopefully, you know, we'll see if it's kinetic. I'm with the chat though. Like, there is no way they're gonna make any type of mountaintop perk on this thing. This thing will behave differently. You know what I'm saying? There was a reason. There's another reason why Sunset existed, to stop some of the OP weapons that they themselves made. They wanted to course correct. So that's what I feel is going on here. You know, it'll probably have some type of maybe unique perk or role, you know, that you can get from it. And then so it looks like they're going the route again with like how they went with Adorned, with each mode gives you a different skin or whatever, Gambit, Crucible, Vanguard, stuff like that. You know, it'll definitely be different. But yeah, I'm with you, E. I think, you know, we definitely, we got to get the Pinnacles, man. We got to get them back. We need them. That's the grind we're looking for, to get back in those modes.
Yes.
I remember staying in Gambit all day for a breakneck. I remember, you know, and what was the heavy in Gambit that had overflow? What was that heavy?
21%
delirium. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you remember, grinding for that recluse, and, you know, regardless to what they got to, even if they don't want to put so OP perks, the concept of having these unique weapons live in these specific modes, and, you know, it encourages the grind. It encourages it. You know what I mean? So you got to put that back in there. And don't know, like, I mean, I like this whole thing with breach load, but I mean, with salvage or salvo, but we still need a little bit more. We still need the pinnacle. Pinnacle's got to come back.
Yeah, where's the stuff that craps on everything else? We had that quote last week as well.
Yeah, they sunsetted so that we could have more stuff, new stuff that craps on everything else, and they didn't give that to us yet.
Exactly.
Which is a whole conversation of why sunsetting happened too early, kind of thing. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. I miss Pinnacles. Pinnacle weapons were that's why I'm going to play a season. I'm going to get this Pinnacle weapon.
Facts.
And I loved it. That was so fun to do. And some of my favorite weapons were Pinnacles, like Wendigo. That was one of my go-to guns to use in PvE, just because it had a unique perk that you had to grind to get. It makes sense to do that. And if you want to make it not overpowerful, just make it useful for 2 seasons and then get rid of it. Like,
that's what Sunset should be for, right? Like, so they shouldn't panic. Like, 2 seasons and then it's gonna go. Like, I remember when I got Loaded Question, I was like, yo, this is very underrated. That explosion rate, I was like, man, like, again, sunsetting exists so that this doesn't last that long anyway. So just bring it back. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. I'm with you.
As for the idea of sunsetting, we also have the other side of that coin, reissues. Some of these are from D1, the Swarm, Paladrone, Shadow Price. So these are all going to be coming from the Nightfalls. And we've got Swarm, Machine Gun, Palindrome, which is the one most people are favoring towards, is going to be the hand cannon. Do you guys think it'll be a 120 or a 140?
I don't know.
Palindrome.
It looks like the Midnight Coupe, but I don't know if it'll be like the same.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm going to say 140, but I'm going 140. What you think?
Well, then what's the Trials hand cannon?
That thing looks sweet. Man. I don't know, man. Would they have the balls to make it a 150? Would they have the balls to truly make it unique and make a 150? Like, what is it? Sunshot? They got Sunshot's the only 150 now. Yeah. That would be interesting, man.
I think that'll retain its exotic nature with the 150 would be my guess.
Based on the architectural style of the gun, it doesn't look heavy enough to be a 120, right? So to me, it still screams 140 or maybe even 180. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? It looks kind of like looser, lighter.
If it's a
you know
180, I'm not using it.
Well, 180 we know. Yeah,
But I'm already terrible with them. Some people might like him, but I'm just terrible. And then we've got Shadow Price. That's the auto rifle. Anybody? I know that's like Deej's gun.
Yeah,
that was always his. Do you guys? Do you guys have anybody who's like Shadow Price? Like
I know my boy, our boy from the Destiny Show podcast. Like his whole
Cornhole.
Shout out Shadow Price. His band Shadow Price. That's his favorite auto of all time. So I know he's going crazy. But what you think, Luke?
I think that when I see Shadow Price, I just think of that's just like OG. You know what I mean? Like that is like a gun that represents Destiny for some reason. I don't know why. I didn't use it much, to be honest, but I feel like I've seen it so often in D1, and I don't know why, but it kind of looks like the gun that some of the little robots were carrying in one way or another. I don't know, some like the little AI. I feel like they've had Shadow Price before. I don't use auto rifles often. Like I think Gnawing Hunger is the one I've used the most, and Hard Light whenever it was OP that one season when Trials came out. Oh my gosh. I went flawless so much because of that. Will be sick if it was kind of like what was that gun? What was the auto rifle? The really OP auto rifle from Trials in D1?
Doctrine of Passing.
Doctrine of Passing.
What if it was like that for some reason? They just make it
definitely
like
not going to be the same gun because it was never that fast.
Yeah, I know, but
yeah,
I don't
it would
know.
be
I
cool
don't
to
use
see
auto
those
rifles
little auto rifle go. Brrr.
Yes.
yeah, that could be it, man. We got to see.
So we got.
I'm happy the swarm's coming. I'm pumped to have another. Like, there's not that many weapons like in that archetype anymore. Ever since they did sunsetting.
Sunsetting broke a couple. Machine guns is one. Bows is another. Where you're truly missing like damage types for some of these weapons. Like there's not a void bow. Period.
Yeah.
Same thing with machine guns. I feel like that's gone too. So it's like we're missing certain pieces, and not all of them can be exotic. So
I agree.
Got all of that. Going back to Season of the Chosen, because we seem to be jumping around this whole thing. Speaking of weapons, though, the solar bow. Now, I have no idea how to say this. I'm calling it Ticcu's Divination. I know I can say the word divination, but Ticuu. How did you guys say that?
Luke?
Where's that typed at? Is that in the TWAB?
I can put it in chat if that helps you.
I don't know. I actually must have missed that. Is that the exotic bow?
The exotic
is like
solar
Eyes of Tomorrow.
Bow.
It's like the Eyes of Tomorrow bow, basically. I don't know how to say it because I honestly saw it in the trailer and I was like, "Oh, bow, I don't care." So then I just forgot
I was like,
about
"Oh, bow." That's the same thing as I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, that's for them."
No bow love. Aw.
I'm
just now getting into Leviathan's Breath for Nightfalls, but look, I wanted to give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm just,
Taiku. Somebody's saying, okay.
Taiku. That would make sense. Okay. So it's spelled Tocuu.
It's spelled Ticuu, but they're pronouncing it as Taiku. No idea. But we'll see.
I don't know. I'm the T-bow. We'll call that
the T-bow.
Oh no, Justin was like, I'm just calling it TD.
Yeah.
TD Ameritrade bow.
No Tiku's divination hype, Luke.
No, I don't care. I just don't care about. I want more exotic snipers, to be honest with you. I feel like we haven't got anything.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah,
in a while.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we did last season.
If we get a hand cannon with the Tex Mechanica quest.
Oh, wait a minute. We got Cloud Strike.
We got Cloud Strike. So I'm over here just kidding.
Come on. Go talk to cool guy about Cloud Strike, and he's going to be like, "Yo, best gun in the game."
Cloud Strike is beast. Don't control.
Beast gun.
Oh Lord, Jesus! And in PvE.
Oh yeah, Justin in chat though. Trinity Ghoul in a PvE situation with the Catalyst is insane.
That's true. That is fun to use. I'm not gonna lie, that is fun.
Like, so
I got my first Lost Sector completed because of that. Continue.
Yeah, no, I was like, believe me, that gun is amazing, and that's why stuff like the whole you're so squeezed into certain weapons for certain mods thing. If we could use some, just like if you could have an unstoppable, and you could pick what it is, not here's your lane for the season. I was like, do I have to wait a year just to use a bow in a Lost Sector? It pisses me off sometimes because like there's only so many primaries. It's like, and I miss bows because they're fun, they're precise, and they hit hard. But like you got the draw time and everything. The exotics are cool. You can have fun with those. And now the exotics you could finally pair with the mods as well because they're on armor. So I really am hoping for like some bow fun. And with an exotic bow, it better be in the artifact mods, but we'll see.
Yes,
but this one I broke it down like frame by frame. You see the arrows go and fire, and they goes out as 3. You can literally watch them like curve out and turn to the other 2 targets while the other one's still traveling. First guy gets his little explosion shot, and there's like a couple, like literally a pixel wide of 2 arrows going sideways, and then like a little wider. Left guy gets hit first, and the right guy gets hit last. So it goes tick tick. So it literally goes down first, split, but it like goes down and splits, so it can track 3 targets at once. I don't know. I'm just kind of excited because bows are fun. Now, I have no idea how good it would actually be and how precision shots are going to work.
Right.
But I'm wondering, like, can you precision shot a guardian in the head and how accurate it is to the other 2?
Yes, you, right.
So I imagine it's probably not
3 tapper.
Yeah, if you can get 3 and then you're just like, boom, and you just like finish them up after you get 3 headshots, I'm just like, that could be fun.
Could be. Yeah, it's a potential. There's definitely some potential there. Listen, we'll give it a shot, of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'll get it and I'll use it for a few minutes and then I'll take it off and put it in the vault.
Well, for me, I'm gonna use this a lot more than I will duality. I will tell you that.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Oh yeah, I haven't even used that once. If I'm being honest with you guys, I put it in there and put it right in the vault.
It was actually very good. It was actually once I learned how to use it properly, because I wasn't proccing the perk. I was using precision shots at the beginning. You're supposed to shoot from the hip to unlock. And once you stack that, what is it, black wings, whatever it is, it hits like a truck. Like you can start taking down bosses and stuff. So it's pretty much like clean up, charge it up, and then precision shot, bang, super pop. And then PvP, criminally underrated. Very good, crazy range. Very good. It's actually very good. I was surprised at how good it was, but in the beginning, it took a little while to get adjusted to.
Yeah.
So we got that tease. We have the exotic quest redacted. It's Tex Mechanica. Don't know what it is. Some people are like, oh, bring back the first curse. Please, for the love of God, no. It's a kinetic hand cannon. We have too many hand cannons in the first place. Give us another archetype. Somebody said sniper. I'd be like, cool. SMG could also do that. I don't really care, but if it's another hand cannon.
Auto rifle.
Anything else is all.
There's man don't wear the wig.
We have so many.
That is true.
Now they have like iconic stories, but like some people said the first curse, I'm like, please no. Just no. I don't want it. No.
Too soon?
Just,
what if they somehow come out with a new gun that hasn't come out before? Wouldn't that be something?
Whoa. It's not a reissue. We haven't seen it be one.
Hand cannon. Even if it's new and it's a hand cannon, he's gonna be.
I would be happier if it was new and it was a hand cannon as opposed to the first curse, but I still don't want a hand. We just got Hawk Moon, which is one of the reasons why, like, I swear to God, if it's a kinetic hand cannon, I'm gonna lose my mind. And the reason I say kinetic, everything Tex Mechanica is Chaperone, Last Word. They're all kinetic. They don't have an energy type. I think they're truly about like, bullets. Basically, they're not about energies.
It could be first curse, yo.
If it's first curse, you're gonna like witness me explode over here. If it's first curse, I'm just gonna be mad.
And let me tell you, 120. It's definitely a 120.
Somebody said rumored like sawed-off shotgun. I could see that being kind of unique and interesting, which would be something. That's the range stat is literally like 1. You have to be hugging that person and it's in their stomach and then you pull the trigger. That's the only way you can kill them. Give us a heavy hand cannon.
Yeah, a heavy what?
It's like you pull out the hand cannon. It's like a cannon on your shoulder. It takes 2 people to fire it because it's so big.
I'm done. I am done. Yeah, man. Listen,
isn't the Prospector? Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah, Prospector is art. That's true.
Yeah,
it could be an energy. I never thought about that actually. So
yeah, it could be energy. We got to see.
So redacted quest. Don't know where that's at. Got the bow. The weapons, the spiral weapons, the gold or ones with the spiral shape on them. Some of my chat was saying those look like reissues of Leviathan weapons. I wondered what you guys kind of thought about that look.
Yeah, I think I was just gonna say that actually because I would glance at these, but I've been looking deep at them now. I'm like, dang, those look just like Leviathan.
Yeah, like the rocket launcher looks like
the rocket launcher looks in the path. Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, They look cool though. Still,
They look cool.
I like the way they look.
Yeah,
Me
it's like
too.
if those are the seasonal weapons, they're cool. They're like a mix of whatever's going on, and then obviously the gold nature with the Cabal. So I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're like always leaving out something. Like there's no hand cannon there, and there's no pulse rifle. Why do they always do that?
Yeah, they always did it. Yeah.
Like you couldn't have just added a couple. Like I guess maybe because Midnight Kuba would have been like that would have been sick. Can you imagine a new version of Midnight Kuba? It was like one of
But
these.
you've also got 2 other things coming that are hand cannons. So
that's true. That's true.
I think that it's left out purposely based on like weapon need. Remember because they took out so much from the pool.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is as far as giving us the full set in this new format. I think obviously the hand cannons, like he said, we've gotten a lot. You know what I mean? So probably that. But yeah, I think so. But yeah, I like them. I mean, yeah, the one looks like a dead ringer for Sins of the Past, the rocket. But as far as the design, it's like some old Aztec feel. I'm digging it. I'm digging the design. I ain't gonna front this season designs. We didn't even talk about the armors as much. Like I'm feeling that old. What's them joints?
The Persian golf ball.
Yeah, I like the Titan
by
joints.
The way, shout out to Chat and Justin. You have ruined me for the Titan helmet, by the way, and I can't unsee it. All I'm gonna say is the word Hitachi, and if you can't figure it out from there, go figure it out. But the Titan helmet. And then he paired it with the Trials Ghost, and I'm done. I am so done. Because the Trials Ghost, some people are saying, looks resemblant of something.
Yes.
And then you have the Hitachi helmet, and it's just, I'm out. I am so done.
I'm done. It's hilarious.
God, it just broke me. So I'm like, well, I officially cannot wear that helmet ever again.
He said the Titan helmet has something pleasing. I'm done.
It's so...
you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it, man.
Yeah, they look like clowns. They have the ball. Some people are saying they're Persian armor, which I was like, okay, I kind of looked up some of that. I can see.
I like it.
And again, like the hunter helm is the only one that I can say looks like clean. It's got like the ringer on the head for like the and kind of the drapes down the face and stuff like that. It's so crazy. So,
I like the design this season. I'm with it, man. I'm with it. Almost a little
normal,
Mongolian
like
feel.
The season pass armor, just like the leather is like so bland though.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
that's just like
the Perfectus. The Perfectus.
Yeah, Perfectus. Yeah, it's basic. Yeah. But like the gold and what I gotta ask, what the hell's on the Titan's back? What is that 3-pole crazy looking? What is that thing? What is it? I'm gonna beat you with my walking stick. Like what the hell?
And I like y'all got the Zavala shoulder pad. That joint look fine. I like. You know what I'm saying? That look hot. Yeah, Yasu look hot to me. And the hunter, it almost got like this. You know what it looked like? When we playing Ghost of Tsushima, you know how the Mongolians had that helmet when you fighting the Mongolians.
I thought it was Mongolian.
Yeah, that's what the hunter joint. And I like my little snowball at the time for the water. It's unique. I like the style. Like they bad culturally with this. I'm with this one. It looks funny.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm managing chat at the same time.
It kind of looks like it kind of looks like they took the you guys are probably like, do you play this game, Luke? Why don't you know the names of any of these weapons?
It's like I don't get into the details. I just shoot and things go bang.
It looks like they took Sweet Business and just took it apart and put it on this dude's back.
Yeah.
Yes. Like it's one of the core pieces of it. Yeah.
That's so weird. That shoulder piece on the left though, he's trying to like rival Zavala's shoulder piece on that
right there.
And I will say, Warlocks, you can calm down with the collar poppage because that is just that's a lot of collar. That's
a lot of collar.
I don't know.
We definitely rank number third.
Yeah,
it's a little much. You know
Any higher, you're going to turn into Cornholio. Yeah.
Yes, I would have to agree. Titan number 1, Hunter number 2, and then we're third here. I don't hate it, you know what I'm saying? But just compared to y'all's, you know what I'm saying?
I heard somebody say it was like you could probably take pieces of this, like with transmog and a shader, and you could have some fun. I'll never wear the Titan helmet.
You gotta wear that helmet.
I'm not gonna be a cone head. I am not a cone head.
Dominance. When you pull up in a spot with that, you controlling the situation.
You control exactly. I am the boss.
With the dotted, man. I wish we had something like that. I like that. That's just fine.
Somebody asked, what is the hitbox on that helmet, by the way?
Yeah, for real. Can you hit the top of that thing? It's a
Seriously,
headshot.
if you hit the ball off the top, like, oh my God. There was another one where it's the golf emote in front of the golf ball and the tee.
Oh my gosh.
Like, the memes were fast on these. It was hardcore. Crazy.
I love it. I love it. Shout out to Justice with me. He said he never taken it off. I'm with you, bro. That Titans, y'all got it, man. I like it. I like when they go over the top sometimes in Titans. It's kind of fun.
Quick take for you guys. I know we won't know until we get our hands on them. 3-person match made battlegrounds. Are you excited? Or are you like, what are your thoughts? Just like quick and dirty.
Quick and dirty.
Seems like the whole theme of this episode at this point.
Quick and dirty.
Quick and dirty.
I feel like it's gonna be cool, but I like it personally if they did like 9-man activities.
Oh man,
I like whenever you can get everyone.
That's
in
when
there.
you drop off old gen consoles when you can use that new hardware. That's when you get crazy stuff.
Yeah.
No, quick. Match made. Okay, fine, but would have loved 6. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at least they're different locations, and we'll see. What the mechanics are of this thing. Long as it's not throwing balls at a target and all that or my foolishness. Like I was not about that.
We have gotten away from the unworthy ball throwing. We just put the balls
out of here.
We picked up all the balls and we put them on our armor.
Yes, there we go. I'm with it. Mm-hmm.
One of the other pieces is the helm. So it seems like a new kind of social space. You've got your hammer of proving, which to everybody's understanding seems to be like the Cryptolith Lure or Chalice of Opulence. Seems to be like your seasonal slot things in, going to battlegrounds. I'm guessing that's what that's going to be like. So I'll be more curious about the social space because people are rumored about the tower coming back, and it looks like it might be a piece of the window.
Oh snap! That looks like that is the tower right there, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's
and
I just saw it for the first time just now.
BeardedLuke on top of his Destiny information.
Listen, been away for a while. He gets a pass.
He gets a pass. Busy.
I just I get to stream at night and I'm like gaming, and then during the day I like glance at this stuff. But
yeah, I feel you.
I'm glad that I'm seeing this right now. Yeah, it's my real life reaction.
Bro, live. No doubt. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's coming back. I think that's how next season starts. I don't know. Maybe it starts with a cutscene of it being like, we're open again, and everyone's clapping and having a good time.
That's been a rumor because there's this thing called a cube map, which I guess is kind of it. I don't remember exactly what those are used for, but it was a cube map of the old tower roaming around in game files. Yeah. So, and they showed what was like, if you loaded in the tower and went straight back in the back, I think that was the open kind of garden area that was like shown in the cube map section. Yeah. But if you look up, the window has almost a similar shape to the helm room. So I don't know where we're going to be going. At some point, I feel like we will get back there. Sorry, I just messing with chat right now.
They just put a big bridge from our tower to that tower that you walk across.
Yeah, it's the part where like the music's really slow. You have to walk slow, so you're like walking across the wall to go from our section on the wall to the tower. Yeah. It's very dramatic.
And then they add a thing where it just, like those little rooms that you go in and then the air blows you up to the next spot. They just do a thing where you go, you fly over there. That'd be sick. In the most unimportant part of the game, a social space. They're like, well, we didn't add any maps, but we added all this sick stuff to the social space.
Got that new social space.
Got that new social space. It's fire in here. You can't do anything. Can you shoot your gun? No. Do you have a firing range? No. You got rid of the menagerie and the training hall, and damn it. At some point, they need to add like a shooting range back in the game because they got rid of the tribute hall.
Maybe the helm is like the tribute hall, but it's in the tower. So it's like a tribute hall that they don't want to, because they probably came out the tribute hall and are like, crap, this is way cooler than we thought it was going to be useful. But it's not in the tower, which would have made a lot of sense to have like a place where you can go and practice shooting enemies.
It's interesting. I'm very curious to see what this actually is. This helm comes online. Is it some type of war strategy thing? Is it, some kind of, it would be dope if it had some type of, training thing in it too. A lot of possibilities here. I'm very curious to see what that is. And then also where the umbrals, where that whole thing's going to go down.
It looks like it's in the floor of it. If you look at the calendar, it looks like it's like on the other side of that long room for the helm table, and then the prismatic recasters in the floor. So
yeah,
I'm hoping this thing isn't hard to get to.
right.
Because if you got to go there every time for your umbrals and you have to load into a separate space of the tower, I think we're all going to go a little crazy.
Yes.
So I'm hoping it's somewhat consolidated, a little simpler to get to and around. So we'll just have to see where they put everything.
Yeah. Do you know what's one thing I noticed at the inside? Because I'm on the I think I've been on the. I haven't been on this website the whole time we've been talking about this, and now I'm looking at all this stuff on
Welcome to the party.
I'm like, what are they looking at? I don't see any of this in the TWAB. But the picture, like right before they show included with Season of the Chosen, it's the Empress's helmet by itself.
Yes.
Why is that? Why do you think that's there?
Yeah, no, it's a very interesting choice. I did notice that as well. I'm like, what's that about? Like, why? That's literally Kaito's helmet. So I'm just like, okay.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, keep the helmet on, please.
That's probably like every season they do like a concept art piece theme for the season that they've done.
Yeah.
So they have like when it was, I think it was Season of the Worthy, where it was like the sword, dagger, whatever was like your artifact.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think they always have that kind of conceptual artist piece, and that looks.
Okay, that's what it's for.
Because you have the smoke coming up
right.
from the urn, and you got her helmet. So it's like kind of what's the nature of the season. And I think that's just like the concept art, which is always cool looking.
You're right. Because they did that with, I just remember they did a cool one like that with Opulence. Where they had the at the time we didn't know the Austringer, had the grapes and they had the thing, and it was like
that's true.
Getting into the whole menagerie thing, and it was very I think it's just like you said, it's a conceptual theme of the season as opposed to maybe a direct action that's going to happen in the season.
That makes sense. Sweet. Just checking.
You're good.
What is that doing?
Get everybody on the same page.
When's the part she's gonna take that off?
So,
she's on the Leviathan taking a bath. That's why her helmet's off.
On a complete side note, since this podcast has been half dirty anyway, thank you guys for the memes.
Yes.
The Resident Evil lady, who is apparently 9 foot 6 inches tall with heels and hat. People want to get. I love Paul Tassi. He's like, why do people want to get stepped on by this lady? And it's just like, it's killing me on the inside because I also feel that old too. And I'm like, that doesn't seem great. I know what you're saying, but the wording is weird.
Yes.
And then apparently Keitel, they said, is what, 9'10"? So they're like, but now we're all comparing boss sizes and stuff like that. I'm like, where's Oryx in his final form? He's got to be like 50 feet, like 5 stories tall or something crazy. But yeah, just random height stuff going around in the world of video game comparisons. It's very hilarious. But this is what I want to do. So I'm going to list off the calendar weeks.
Okay.
And then I want you guys to give me your feedback when I finish it up.
Okay.
Okay. So week 1, 2 battlegrounds, 2 strikes, Helm comes online. Okay. Start of the season. Also in week 1, Stasis Quest, first weekend trials. Got it. Week 2, 1 battleground. Week 3, 1 battleground. I don't even know if I should say Iron Banner because we know it's going to be in there. So Iron Banner's in there 3 times a season. Deal with it.
Right.
1 month later, if you have the season pass, you get the new strike. A week after that, then the strike enters the Nightfall playlist. And then a month later, you have Guardian games. That's the calendar.
Right.
So you have week 1, week 2, week 3 of Battlegrounds. A month later, you have a strike. And then a month later, you have Guardian games. Thoughts? Enough, not enough, cool, yay, nay, cheers, boos. What's the audience? What's the audience sound right now? What's the gladiator thumb?
I unfortunately, I think it's gonna make people are very upset now with how things are. And there was a new expansion at the beginning of the season. So I'm thinking it's going to be a really slow few months for the hardcore players. I think that the casual people will have plenty of stuff to work on, but it just seems like drip content again while they're trying to get to the next thing, which I'm fine with. Like, there's new stuff coming. It'll give me a reason to log in and play this new stuff, and then I'm basically like, I get real hyped into I play a lot. I get really hardcore when there's an expansion because it's, like the actual DLC.
Yeah.
But like we were just saying earlier, like if there was more PvP stuff added in here, it would keep the end game flowing for a lot of people. So I think that there's going to be a big void there again this season where Trials isn't going to be the only thing that cuts it for everyone, unfortunately. And I think there's going to be a lot of angry people by the end of the season once again, which I don't like when that happens because I like it when things are more positive. But I'm excited personally. But I think I think that there's not enough stuff on this calendar. Right. Even if, I mean, they put so many like little words everywhere. I'm like, well, there's so many words on here to make it look like there's so much stuff. But then when you were just saying that out loud, I was like, dang, a month and then there's something else, a month and then there's something else. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. When you take off,
we'll forget about it.
Yeah. When you take off the top of like new exotics, new ornaments, new story content, Guardian games, Umbral engrams, like, that's all like PvE, Iron Banners listed on there. And you're like, I get it. Iron Banners on there. Seasonal challenges or something. And actually somebody said like, if you take the seasonal challenges and you kind of go like week by week as they get less and less, I'd be curious to see where all of those fall. But before I say anything else, Cog, like just hearing the season described that way or however you like to say it. What are your thoughts on the seasonal calendar? How's it feel on first glance?
I'm okay with it, but I'm still holding out for right underneath where it says May 7th through 9th and more. So I think my gut still tells me they got like a secret. They still got a secret cooking. Because a month gap 2 times, right? Did you say it was like a month or something between
yeah, so you go February 23rd to March 23rd. There is nothing on the map.
That's a month. Right, that's a month. Right.
And then March 23rd, which you'll already have the strike the week later, but March 23rd to April 20th, which is about another 4 weeks. Right. Guardian Games comes, which is
right.
Anyway, but yeah, so that's about another month after the one strike is introduced. Like,
yeah,
you got some gaps to fill.
There's gaps. I think normally I don't get optimistic with them with this, but I do think they are holding on to something. I think I don't want to get you too excited. It's that dungeon or something, but they're holding on to something. Because that's 2 months of not anything happening substantial. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, they're holding on to something. And again, the timing seems about right. You know what I'm saying? Again, we had the raid last time. We didn't have a dungeon this time. You know, we know Vaulted Glass is on the horizon. It's not ready right now for this season. I do think there will be something. I don't know if it may only be like a 0 hour kind of situation. It may not be the dungeon. You know what I'm saying? So I'm tempering my expectation on the how big whatever that thing is. But I do believe you can't have a 2-month gap without you fitting something in there that they're just not ready to talk about right now. Because it would be a dead giveaway to whatever this thing is. Yeah. So that's it. And the last point I'll say, shout out to the check, I was just about to say it, was it'd be nice if Guardian Games could look like they got some racing style suits there.
Don't even get your hopes up. I'm gonna say that. Don't even.
You know, if Guardian Games being an Olympic kind of thing and a competitive thing would be nice if that acronym that we all love.
Don't even say it.
Could get going again. Because I would love me some SRL. I don't know about you.
You said it.
Yes, SRL.
Yeah, let's go.
No, that would for real make the most. That would be like, because last year's Guardian Games was so lame, I didn't even do it. I think that SRL would be. This would be the best time to bring it back.
Like, time.
Oh, you got me hyped. Now they better bring it back or I'm gonna cry.
And it fits thematically with Guardian Games. Olympics, racing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would be fun.
Exactly.
They have the vault. Let's use some old assets and bring it forward. Hey, I can hope. I can dream. I'm pushing for this one. SRL, come on, baby. Because it says that Guardian, what's the closing ceremony for Guardian? Why do we need a closing ceremony?
Like, for real. Closing ceremony. Nothing actually happens. A new thing shows up. There's like fireworks. That's it.
Present the little statue. Hey, I can dream. I can hope I can dream.
They'll know Titans have already won, so they'll give us our baby statue in the Guardians game ceremony. No, honestly, believe me, I would love probably more than a lot of people to see SRL back, Sparrow Racing League, because I had a lot of fun with it. But again, if you have to take the realistic check and say, we already got a new strike, we didn't expect that. We're getting Trials weapons, Trials armor. We know they're working on Witch Queen.
Yeah.
We got battlegrounds. We got 4 of them spaced out. Yeah, they kind of, fancied up some patrol spaces, but still they put those in there. The mechanics are in there. As small as seasons have felt and feel like they can only get so big.
Right.
One reason I don't want it to be here, because I want it to be permanent. If it comes back, I swear to God, if it's in the game for 3 weeks and leaves.
Oh, it's not. It's leaving. It's leaving. They holding on to that thing. They gonna milk that thing to the wheels fall off. You are not getting a permanent SRL. I can guarantee you
then
that
don't bring
right
it
now.
back. Don't bring it back. Tease me and be like, gone again for another 5 years. Don't do it.
That's
then I
true.
don't even want to see it again.
I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it if it's only 3 weeks. Just
they
don't
have to do it because
do
that'll be getting people. Then they'd be like, it only comes around during
It only
Guardian
comes
games,
around.
and then-
This is the seasonal model, the FOMO. Were you there with the SRL?
They literally said they want to get away from FOMO.
Listen, they gonna tie it to an event, and the perfect event will be Guardian Games. If you gonna bring it back, Guardian Games is the event to do it. And
If they
got
bring
rid of
back
Crimson,
Sparrow Racing League for 3 weeks, I'm going to revolt. I am going to throw pitchforks, torches, bring them all
he's
out.
gonna uninstall.
How long have we been asking for this thing to come back? And if it's back for 3 weeks, are you kidding me?
You'd be happy.
No. I'd be so pissed.
You'd be pissed off. Listen, man. I mean, it would be interesting. Whenever it comes back, it's going to be interesting in the form it comes back. But it would be cool, man. I think that would be a nice little kibosh,
I was like, but honestly, with the bandwidth, I don't see it at all. I would not get your expectations.
Yeah, realistically, probably not. You know what I'm saying? But if I got a hope, because my thing is, what you got a ceremony for? Well, ceremony for what? Like, what is, why we need a closing ceremony for? What is it, 3 days?
Yeah.
What's happening in 3 days that we need to close? What
Like,
do we need that for?
Like, good job. You guys put a bunch of things, and you pressed the button and put a bunch of things in this box. You guys, congrats.
Congrats. Like, again, and more.
And more. It's like Apple.
More.
It's like Apple's one more thing.
Yeah,
this will be
one more
Bungie's
thing.
one more thing.
Oh, I'm telling you.
The and more is
what it
likely the quest that they haven't put a date on. Probably. Because there's the text mechanic redacted, not on the calendar. So they're not going to give you the, dawning quarters of time, Bastion. They're not doing that stuff anymore. They're going to keep a few things close to the chest, see how it's going. But yeah, why they need a closing ceremony? It's like, all right, day 1, 3rd place, celebrate your day. Date, like, I don't know. Now, how do you guys want Guardian Games to work? That's the better question.
What did we do last year? I can't even remember what we did. What we did for the statue? For the statue y'all won? What was
like do strikes, and then you put the things in. I don't remember actually. That was the only time I didn't get the exotic that was available.
Yeah,
I got it at the beginning of this season because you could buy it from the kiosk, but
right. What was it? It was Heir Apparent, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Some people are saying
we
the
just
catalyst.
did bounties. Okay, they said we did bounties. Yeah,
but they were like the ultra specific get like melee kills with the Titan, and it was just the optimization that like people were like, well, Titans can punch easier than the rest of us for these bounties. We need ability kills or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying functionality. How would you guys like to just see like Hunter versus Titan versus Warlock? How would you guys like to see a in-game competition held? Like, take out whatever happened before. How do you think would be a good way to do that?
Oh, like legit race. Like, in Leviathan, whenever we were in the room where what was that called? The room where you, the gauntlet, like have actual racing, like where you're running and you're jumping through stuff. You shoot something, you jump like obstacle courses and stuff. Like, I would think that would be more like games than just like, I did more bounties than you. Like, that's lame.
That to me is not competition. That's why I said SRL. We need direct competition. Like, this bounty thing, I'm like, I like the concept of it. I like the aesthetic look of Guardian Games. I like the idea of a trophy. I like the bragging rights aspect. But getting millions of people to just do bounties, that's not really it. I don't feel like, I think, what is it that said in the chat? Like, you got to lock the player in to the class almost. Like, I don't know. You got to do something. It just... That really makes it feel like we're competing against the other classes. Like, I don't really look at bounty turn-ins as, oh, I'm beating you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, I mean, it was cool. Yeah, you log in today, you see the little, what was it? The statues would go up or whatever it was that went up, the flag. right?
Yeah.
And then one day you see the Titans to the moon, kind of thing. And it's just like, okay, cool, but bounty turning on its own should not be enough, in my opinion.
No,
Should be
I mean,
with
believe me, I'm with you. It's like, I wish there was a way they would just like track what each class does in the game for 3 weeks.
Right.
If you go do a raid, like you beat an encounter, it's worth a certain number of points. You go finish a raid, it's worth this. Like, and whatever classes are involved in doing that. So if you want to play on your hunter for 3 weeks to support them, everything you do throughout the game, strike is worth this, trials flawless is worth this, raid finish worth everything, just a total point accumulation.
Right. Yeah.
And then maybe on weekends you get bonus points, or maybe in the final week you get like a boost in points. So if you're a little behind, but you can make a final push, switch to that character.
Or like
that's the only thing I can think of that would be like a general way of still playing the game, but being like, how's it going as you go through?
Another thing I was thinking, like in PvP, this mode that they're not using. How about how many hunters did you kill? How many warlocks did you kill? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true.
Tie it to the actual competition of who you're fighting against. Like, they got to make it. They got to narrow it down, man. Because
every hunter you kill as a Titan is minus points to a hunter. So then everybody's just in Crucible doing this plus and minus thing. Hunters would win that one for sure.
I know what we do. Add BR to it. I'm just kidding. It's a battle royale mode. Drop us. Where are we dropping, boys? Somewhere in the EDZ.
Yeah, so the EDZ is so, man. Make it happen.
That would actually be interesting to see what a BR would look like in Destiny.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
You need some good rigs to battle, to see like 7 Nova bombs going back and forth. You're just going to shut systems down doing that. Oh.
Yep.
You hear Zavala, like the way it starts, Zavala's like, there's this new trend happening in the city called BRs, so we're going to try it.
Oh, God. I can only imagine Lance Riddick reading that voice line.
The kids are playing this game called Fortnite.
Whether we wanted it or not.
Whether we wanted it or not, you can now construct blocks to get around the area. God.
Oh man, it's gonna be an interesting season because what they're gonna put in these gaps, man. But we gotta see. Man.
I think we, in the most weird roundabout way, we seem to have touched on just about everything.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Because time-wise, we've hit a longer episode than I thought we were, but we knew we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Is there anything that we haven't talked about, or final thoughts as we go into? It's Tuesday, so any final thoughts before we go into Tuesday?
It's chicken pot pie on a Tuesday. I say that every Tuesday. I don't know why, but I have an emote that is a chicken pot pie, and then there's a Tuesday on top of it. I've been saying that for a long time. So chicken pot pie on a Tuesday.
All right.
Today's not Tuesday though. Today's Friday. I just remembered. Now you just said it was Tuesday. You had me believing it was Tuesday.
We gotta get this big back in pocket, man.
Yeah.
We got to get his alignment.
You are very moldable, man. You got to be careful how much news and stuff you take in. You might be taking in the wrong information there. I'll be like, by the way, trials, you're going to play that from Tuesday through Thursday. Just make sure you look for it. It'll be there for you.
I will. I'll be there. You guys better be there.
I'll be right there in your backpack.
Thanks.
Oh man, our controller backpacks.
Controller, right? Shout out to the controller game. Yeah, for me, I'm just I'm actually excited. I want to see about what if there's any sandbox on the patch day. I want to see I'm actually curious about the artifact. I want to see what's the trends for this. What are they going to push us towards as far as unstoppable and all that good stuff. I thought last season's the surge joint where you stun a champion and then the other mod that you can get the grenade back. I thought that was a very cool addition.
Yep.
I want to see if they continue with that. And I mean, I think we do get a secret E. I know you're looking at those 2 months and I know you're feeling away. I hear it in your voice. You're like,
no, it's like
this month gap twice. What do you think? Listen, I do think there will be something. I think it'll be cool, but I just don't know the scale of it. I just don't know. It could be something as small as I say small, but something as a 0 hour or whatever, kind of thing, a secret mission. Or it could very well be what, that whole Osiris thing at the end where it's like there's no light in here. In where? What's going on in where this place you're at? Guardian go investigate. It becomes a dungeon or something. And then, shout out Oppressive Darkness. Yes, I want Oppressive Darkness back too for my artifact. Thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out Dramatic. But and I think, Trials will get a shot in the arm that it needs. we'll see how it plays out. And then my thing is, I'm with you, Luke. I'm all about the narrative flow of this season. That's all I care about, to be honest. Cato, the role, Crow, his role, how close is he getting, to acceptance? Obviously, Zavala just met him. That interaction has to happen. What's that about? You know what I'm saying? And then also, if y'all saw the lore that came out, that's started the game that they rate on the website, Osiris is mentoring him, like one exile to another. This is how we're gonna, at some point, we're going to face this. All right, first, take those whack clothes that you got off. Let me hook you up with some Osirian drip. So you see my boy out here with the gold. He looking fly. You know what I'm saying? So Osiris is his mentor. And I like that aspect. I like what they're doing with that. And the last thing will be the eventual alliance. We are going to ally with the Cabal. And then, and also Zivo Wrath. Yeah, we pushed it back a little bit. What's up with that? Where that goes to. I'm curious. So I think for me, this is the lore to drag us through. And one secret. I'm holding out hope for you, E. One secret that you're going to be excited. I'm predicting. You're going to be like, oh, okay, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah. And then we'll be all right. And then you'll be pleased.
Fair enough.
Then boom, YouTube video. Massive.
The YouTube video.
They're good for that. For me, honestly, like one of the things that I totally forgot to touch on, so I'm just going to say it really quickly. The Aeon Cult exotics.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that.
I know, we don't have a ton of time, but basically all classes are going to have the same exotic. I don't know if it's just going to be Aeon Cult or whatever it's called, and you will all have mods that you can choose. Now, the mods work, and I think the idea of this is cool. Definitely one of the best reworks for an exotic that I've probably seen. So each mod has one perk for you and one perk for your allies, and has extra benefits if they aren't wearing the same perk. So there's benefits to everybody. Basically, a 3-person fire team each takes one, is what you would eventually want.
Yes, sir.
Sect of Force, rapid precision hits with a weapon temporarily increase your reload speed and weapon swap speed. When you stun a champion or defeat a boss or mini-boss, your nearby fire team members gain a burst of grenade and melee energy. Aeon Cult allies who do not have the Sect of Force also gain a burst of super energy. So if I finish off a champion or a boss, you guys get grenade, melee, and super energy if you're not wearing the same thing. So if you're going to be like, hey, everybody whittle him, okay, you take the last one, finish him up, cool, everybody gets a boost. Sect of Insight. You've got successive precision weapon takedowns have a chance to drop an orb of power for your allies. When you use a finisher on an elite, which I think that's at least an orange bar above, you generate special ammo for your fire team. When you use a finisher on a boss or mini boss, so I guess elite's different, you generate heavy ammo for your fire team. So again, you have certain people who need to do boss kills. Do you need energy? Cool. We need ammo. You go finish the boss. Nearby Aeon Cult allies who do not have the Sect of Insight also gain a bonus to weapon damage for a short time.
Right.
That one only I could see. See, again, it's like hard to know if those are on all the time or when you do the finishers, you get those.
Right.
Finally, the Sect of Vigor. Gain class ability energy as your allies die. Gain full class ability energy when you resurrect an ally. I could see that on other Rifts or Titans probably being beneficial, less so for a Hunter in a PvE situation. And most of this all seems very PvE related. These don't seem like they're going to do a ton for PvP. When you cast your super, nearby allies gain an instant burst of healing. That's actually cool. That's probably the only one that would work in PvP.
PvP, so that's going to go down.
Aeon Cult
Trials, that's going to go down. Sect of Vigor Trials.
Yep. Aeon Cult allies who do not have the Sect of Vigor role equipped also gain an overshield.
Nice.
So, I mean, like, that one alone could be really interesting. Like, if you're the strong player and you're the one who's going to be doing the resin, you do that and you just got a lot stronger. So, conceptually, like, Aeon Cult's probably, like, the worst. Everybody hated them forever. Like, they were just like, I had a 68, 69 roll, and I don't even think I kept that because it was that bad.
I'm in the same boat. I deleted all those. I would be so disgusted when I get that exotic. Normally I never do. Even if it's something I hate, I always keep it. But for some reason, that exotic, I'm mad I don't have any now. Yeah. And what's the one from, I'm assuming the one from Collections is trash, right?
Yeah, it's trash. You could pull it, but it'll be in the 40s or something, like 48.
Zer never sold it.
I mean, he's definitely sold it, so you never know. If he sells it this week, this is one of those times where you know there's the randomness is kind of baloney.
Control. So. Oh, yeah, we know about him.
Random.
We know about him. We know he been compromised.
But like I will say like this type of we've talked about exotic armor, and a lot of exotics armor and weapons sit on a dusty shelf.
Right.
And I think this is a cool. This more often like type of unique reworks, and this is a very unique situation because you have the set that work together. But whether it works out I don't know how it's going to be like in action. I don't know if they're going to really be big payoffs.
Right.
But at least in concept, I really, really like what they did here.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of my one big takeaway is like the look at an exotic to do that. Now it's one set and there's still a bunch that sit dusty. But for the time being, like you took one of the worst and you definitely are going to make people test it out, try it out, and look at builds that work the best because it's going to get it. All of those seem to have interesting moments to them, which is cool.
Yeah.
Luke?
Yeah, I think the idea of this is my favorite. Not exactly these specifically, but the idea of exotic armor working together, because the whole point of what they want us to do is play as a fire team. They want us to play with our friends, and a really cool way to be a fire team is to, be, working together with not only ourselves, but with our gear, which I love the ability to build. You can do even more like builds of armor when it comes to like not just like builds for yourself, but then like fire team builds. Like if we're in a GM, if they had like specific armor where it was like, if we're in a GM and you kill a champion, then all your armor does this. And if one guy kills a champion, then you all have, I don't know, there's like a million options that you could do from this. I think this is good groundwork for hopefully future exotic armor that they bring out that makes you work as a team differently because your armor is actually affecting the way that you play. I think that'd be pretty sweet.
Preach. We preach it. Yeah, I mean, I always felt that these type of things that they first introduced were always half-baked. I didn't feel like they were fully realized. They tried a lot of it. If you remember, they tried a lot like Rat King, 6 people have a Rat King. Yep. They tried these team-oriented things and it just didn't hit. And now this is again, I'm always a fan. Look at they're big on statistics and usage rate. Look at we know this thing was in the bushes. Nobody was using this thing, right? Yeah. So look at your usage rate, bring it back to the table, rework it. Even if it's just one exotic a season that you just look, if you don't have the resources to do a whole bunch that we know that need touching up, I like this. And, Aeon Swift deserved this. This is dope. I'm very excited. I think Vigor is going to be great for PvP and like Nightfalls, again, with the superior carrying player. There's a lot of uses. I mean, the other stuff with the champion, stuff like that. It's getting me into a build mode. Yep. You know what I'm saying? I can now, I might be now a Well of Radiance Warlock. My whole thing is healing, and I take one of these things, and I'm really supporting. And I like that even supporting people who don't wear it. But if you all wear it, the benefits and the synergy start kicking off.
GM Nightfall Sherpa, my only requirement, go grab your Aeon piece, and you're like, I'm sorry. You said,
you under my wing. You in my backpack. Yeah. You need to put this on if you want to get this done. Like, I like it. I like it. It's potential. Again, what like Luke said, is this my favorite thing? I'm always going to be rushing to it. Probably not all the time. I'm going to try it, but I want to see more of the concept of reworking non-used exotics anymore, that the usage rate is very low. That stuff excites me. I love when Bungie does this. They don't do enough of it. So this is dope.
Yep. Well, that's about all we got, I think. So we could wrap up the episode. This is the point in the time where, Luke, the floor is yours. Where people can find you, what you got going on, what you're looking to be working on, platforms. Basically, anybody who listens, this is your time. How do they find you? What do you do? What do you want to do? All that good stuff.
Sweet. Well, I stream on Twitch. I have a schedule now. So I just started this week and I really like it. I stream on Twitch on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday around 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until late. Just depends. Sometimes I start at 10, but I always just say 11 because I'm usually late. And then I have a YouTube channel. Just search BeardedLuke, or I think it's youtube.com/BeardedLuke. I have a lot of content there. Right now it's Pokemon content, but it's going to be, it's a mixture of, gaming, content creation, how-tos, studio stuff, just like a bunch. It's going to be a bunch of stuff. I'm still starting it. It's not going to be like honed in on one thing. It's going to be like kind of just based off what I like. So I'm working on that, which I'm excited about this year. I'm making a video right now about my new setup down here, which is exciting to do. And then Twitch is just twitch.tv/BeardedLuke. I love hanging out on Twitter. So if I love talking to people on Twitter, it's my favorite social media because I control it. It's just games for me. Facts. So it's just like the Bearded Luke because the whoever took Bearded Luke on Twitter doesn't use their account and won't give it to me. So it's the Bearded Luke. I know. And we have a podcast called the Destiny Nerds podcast at 10 p.m. on Sundays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'd love to have both of you on there at some point, by the way. Bro, be an honor. Seriously. Because we have guests every week. We like to have content creators from the Destiny community come in so we can get to know them personally, but also just, it's so cool. You guys do it. This is it. Like we're all talking about Destiny from different perspectives. It's interesting. It's fun. I've enjoyed sitting here talking to you guys and get to know both of you now. I feel like we're buddies, like best buds now. I love this. I want to game with you guys more.
Facts, brother. You blew my mind when you told me the Guardian Con story. It's so funny how our paths crossed. You know what I mean? And it was just that's so cool.
Exactly. Absolutely. And content wise, that's basically all I'm doing. That's where you can find me. If you like gamer subs, use code BeardedLuke for 10% off.
Gamer subs.
Gotta plug it.
Yeah, he's pushing me. I gotta start using it.
Yeah, they're good. They give me lots of energy. Actually, they're so good that I've had to pee for the past like hour and a half, but I'm holding it hard.
You can be like, mute pee, gotta be back. Like
you should have sent us a message, brother.
This
dude's bladder is gonna burst and he's over here powering through.
He's suffering for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys talk. I'm gonna knock out my stuff really quick. Stop redeeming your points today because we're short on time. I got 5 minutes till Zer, so be fast, but you guys keep going.
Low down, y'all already do. Shout out to Redeem for making E do some setup. This is the part of the show. And, like I said, he's got to get that work in. During the weather, you've been at home. COVID's keep me in the house, and you got to still work out, man. You got to still work. That's what we do here, Luke. You know what I'm saying? We had the last word. We still got to promote the fitness thing and getting look at the perfect form on the setups.
I love this.
You don't get this type of premium entertainment from any Destiny podcast. This is what we're doing. We're promoting that positive physical lifestyle here, right? You wouldn't have the last word, not only in Destiny, but you would have the last word with your physicality. Wouldn't be good out here. So make sure you get the sit-ups in. They're making them dab. They're making them do all types of stuff. Justice and gains time. This is what we do, baby. You know what I'm saying? So look, man, ease and inspiration out here, giving us what we need. You could have used this time for the pee break, by the way, bro.
I could have. I'll just wait. I'll pee when it's over.
Oh, you're a strong man. That's a strong bladder.
I was like, I'm over here chugging water, and I'm just this whole 3 hours, I'm just drinking water. I'm like, oh, dude, I got to pee so bad, but I'm good.
But salute to E for making it happen, getting those gains, getting that core tight. You know what I'm saying? Making everything right. Yes. Yeah, there you go. There's the red face that we miss.
That's a strong man right there.
There we go. That's that. Now they tell you to hydrate, and they want you to get your dab on. Hydrate and dab. That's what they're saying right now. He said, "This is why we sub. This is." But salute, man. Yeah, salute to E for bringing it down. And yeah, man. For me, like I said, I just want to shout you guys out real quick. Thanks for all the positive messages. Obviously, I didn't get the greatest medical news this week. But, definitely just going to battle through it, thinking positively and doing what I got to do. So, again, everyone who sent me a message on the situation, I really appreciate it. It meant a lot. And, I'm going to fight this thing and see what happens with that. I'll keep you guys posted on my progress. But as far as me, you already know, at Lord Cognito on Twitter, Iron Lord Podcast on YouTube. This Sunday will be a fun show. We're going to have Lasercorn on. Lasercorn, formerly of Smosh Podcast. Fun guest, hilarious. He's a good content creator. You guys gotta like this kid. So come check us out Sunday. It will be at 1 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. Again, the last word is good to be back. Talking Destiny, hype new trailer, marketing department in full effect. The hype is here. And I got some hope that we're gonna have a secret for E, and then he's gonna be happy. That's what I got. Yeah. But again, Justin, everybody, I see you guys, Bender. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I saw the messages you guys sent me this week. It meant a lot, to see everybody kind of pulling for me with my situation. So thank you guys. Much love. You already know.
Sorry, breathing. But no, honestly, thank you guys as well very much. It's always fun to do this. You guys try and kill me at the end of each episode, so that's why you guys stay to the end. So if you catch one of these on YouTube, you catch them on audio platforms, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to it. Try and catch them live because the episodes are always a blast. But chat, you guys have been on fire today. Thank you guys very much. As I breathe heavily through this thing, it's totally fine. Luke, sir, man, I'm so glad we got you on. It has been a blast. As you said, like, you spend this long of a podcast together, you're like, man, I got to play with this guy. It's like so cool and see and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So, but it was a blast. Like, getting to know you have one of the most unique histories into Destiny that I've probably heard.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
I loved it.
No, I'm not going to play. No, I'm not going to play.
Yeah, it almost felt like, you know, like you know how you end up getting married to your partner. Like, he was rejecting this girlfriend like bad times.
She's just persistent.
She just kept hanging around, and then he ends up like, oh, yo, I really like this.
Yeah, I really like this person. You know what? I'm gonna marry them.
Yeah, like it
I'll
was
marry
like,
Destiny.
yeah, you paid it no mind. It's so funny. Yeah,
but yeah, you guys know
thanks
where
for
to find
having me.
Yeah,
absolutely,
absolutely, man. And definitely, you're always welcome back. So.
Yes.
Anytime, and obviously check out his podcast, Destiny Nerds. Gotta help him get that one going.
Get that invite, brother.
Yeah, we just started. We just had episode. I think this week's episode 11. So
nice.
we just.
Oh wow! Remember that? We had 11 episodes.
Yeah,
11 episodes.
That was fun times in Destiny there.
Fun times. Curse of Osiris. Jesus. Yeah, come a long way.
But for me, it's Ebontis, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Follow me on Twitter for my streaming schedule. I need to post that on YouTube as well. But I am streaming some on YouTube, some on Twitch. I've been working through Immortals, Phoenix Rising. That's been a blast. It's like I haven't played a ton of Assassin's Creed games, like basically hardly any. So it's kind of cool to do like the adventure game, especially after playing Hades and the Greek gods. So I've been working through that. It's fun. And then, everybody's like wondering when Hellblade and what's the other one? Plague Tale. Both of those people want to see me play. So follow me. You guys will know what I'm playing. Yeah, Hellblade I'm going to play. Couple definitely going to happen, whether it's Twitch, YouTube, streaming on both. You guys know where to find me on there. Like, subscribe, follow both of these gentlemen, all of what they do. So spread the love. Thank you guys very much today. Chat has been on fire. And we can wrap this thing up because we got other stuff to do. So thank you guys very much. Episode 135, February 5th. Our guest, BeardedLuke. Thank you for your time, sir. We kept you for a full 3 hours here. So
work that bladder.
Yeah, we got the whole time used up. But for this episode, thank you all. Thank you, chat. You guys have been amazing, and have an awesome day. It has been the last word.